hard-hitting football coverage.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app and on your smart speaker.
EFL Game Day Live.
On Talksport 2.
Good afternoon, this is Game Day Live on Talksport 2. I'm Ollie Klink. It's good to have you with us. There's live championship action on the way for you as Sunderland host Southampton at the Stadium of Light. Can the Black Cats end an unbeaten start for the Saints?
Turkey gets to the byline, cuts it back across. Oh, that's a very smart finish from the edge of the 6-yard area from Neil. And they're back in this game.
Right for the ball into the penalty area. Oh, the header is in! And Sunderland have taken the lead. A great header at the near post from Patrick Roberts.
They're going to win football matches, Sunderland. There's no question about that. When the players who come back from injury and suspension, etc., they're going to be there or thereabouts.
We have to make sure in our stadium with our fans that together, collectively, we make life as difficult for them as we can and make sure they realise they've been in a tough game.
Sets it back for Shea Adams, who swivels on the edge of the 6-yard box and fires Southampton into the lead.
Headed away initially. Armstrong with a header. Another save, but then it's turned in by Adams. And Shea Adams has surely won it in added time once again for Southampton.
In the last few minutes, Southampton have pulled the plug on any potential departure, it seems, for Shea Adams.
He's really focused, and if he is here, he will be involved in the weekend 100%.
They're a fantastic passing side, as you expect from Russell Martin, and they've been superb.
They've got some really good talent. It'll be a really tough game, as they all are, as they've proven to be so far. And the biggest test for us so far, to go there with that crowd, the same as at Hillsborough, to try and be the team we want to be.
This is Talksport 2. This is the Championship, and this is why we love it.
Yeah, it's a cracker of an early kick-off in the Championship. Two teams hoping to light up the Stadium of Light as Sunderland take on Southampton. It's a clear day up in the northeast. There'll be some weary-eyed Saints fans, won't there, who've got up at the crack of dawn in order to make time for kick-off. They might have done an overnight stay. Who knows? Joining me for this one, a former Sunderland left-back, Mickey Gray. But first, with the team news, your match commentator for this afternoon, Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Ollie. Busy end to the transfer window for both these two sides, with a highlight possibly being the transfer of Ross Stewart. He swapped the Stadium of Light for the South Coast for a fee of around about £10 million. Sunderland have recruited potential, while Southampton have signed for the here and now. Mason Holgate, Taylor Harwood-Bellis will add strength at the back, and with Shea Adams still a Saints player, I think it's fair to say it's been a good window for Russell Martin and Southampton. What about Sunderland then? Well, they're unchanged from the draw at Coventry last week. Patterson the goalkeeper, Hume, O'Nien, Ballard and Cirk in the back four, Neal and Equa holding, with Barr, Dack and Clark just behind Joe Bellingham, who starts up top. Southampton, well, they'll go top with a win here today. They make 4 changes. No Jack Stevens, he's out injured. Alcaraz, Charles and Amayo dropped to the bench. As in come Mason Holgate, Flynn Downs, Will Smallbone and Sekou Mara into the starting 11. It's Bazunu in goal, Walker Peters, Bednarek, Holgate and Manning at the back. Downs, Smallbone and Armstrong, that's Stuart Armstrong in the middle, with Mara and Edozie either side of Adam Armstrong, who's got 4 in 4 coming into this one.
Yeah, the former Newcastle man, of course, as well. Mark, thank you very much indeed. Let's bring in a man revered by Mackems across the land, former Sunderland left-back, Mickey Gray. Mickey, I'm nice and cosy down here in the London studio. Is it a bit chilly up north?
This is a beautiful day, Ollie, up north. Sun shining, brisk fresh wind coming off that North Sea. Perfect conditions for a great game of football today.
Oh, you love to hear it, Mickey. Now let's focus on Sunderland just to begin with. It's been a bit of a mixed start, hasn't it? What do you make of the fact, firstly, that they're unchanged today heading into this game?
Well, I think obviously you have to look at the last 2 performances, a win at home against Rotherham and then a very difficult place to go in Coventry and coming away with something. So I think they're certainly starting to turn the corner a little bit, Sunderland, albeit, look, it's still early in the season. But I think the transfer window was interesting yesterday, wasn't it? But I think, Tony's used to working with a young group of players. He did that at Blackburn and he's done a fantastic job since he walked through the door at Sunderland.
You mentioned the transfer window there, big blow for them, wasn't it, losing Ross Stewart to Southampton. 10 goals in 13 last season before he got injured. He was very good, wasn't he, in that promotion season from League One as well. How concerned are you overall about Sunderland's firepower up front?
Well, it's a concern. Yeah, there's no question about that. I think over the last few seasons, I mean, losing Charlie Wyke, who scored a lot of goals for Sunderland, and he went to Wigan for over £10 million, and the same thing's happened now to Ross Stewart, which is unfortunate to obviously the side that we're playing against today in Southampton. But the problem that we've got at Sunderland is, and we've been told this a couple of seasons ago, that it's a recruitment club for the time being. You look how young the squad is, an average age of 23, the youngest in the Championship, and then the transfer market yesterday, 19-year-olds, 20 and 21-year-olds walking through the door. So we know where we're at. We know that we can't get used to players being here for a long period of time. They are going to move on if they do well, and that was the case with Ross Stewart. And I think all you have to say is, well, he was here, he did a fantastic job, and he was obviously hugely missed when Sunderland got themselves to the playoffs last season, when it could have been an automatic promotion if he'd have kept fit for the last 3 or 4 months of the season.
Listen, Mickey, we'll focus on Sunderland in more depth a bit later on, but let's look at Southampton and some of their movement in the transfer window. Mark mentioned it there during the team news. They've had a pretty good window by all accounts. Ross Stewart, now a Saint, of course, and they managed to cling on to Che Adams as well. There was interest from Wolves, but I mean, how key is it that they have clung on to him? He's been a very influential player for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And sometimes in the transfer window, it's not about sometimes the players that you keep leaving. It's sometimes the players that you keep hold of. And Che Adams is going to score goals in the Championship. We know that. He's a Scottish international. He knows where the back of the net is. They've brought in some really experienced, top quality players, and I certainly put them up there as one of the favourites to get promoted from the Championship this season. I mean, experience of Harwood Bellis, who did absolutely brilliant at Burnley last season when he was there on loan. He's got that experience, he's got that know-how of playing in the centre-half position, of when to calm things down or when to just clear your lines if things aren't going your way. And Mason Holgate, I think we all know about him. He's got huge experience as well. So those type of players coming in at Southampton are only going to make them better.
Yeah, great signing, Harwood Bellis, isn't it? And obligated to buy him, aren't they, if they go up for 20 million? That still seems like a bit of a snip, doesn't it? Just going back to Che Adams quickly, Mickey, do you think that there's any part of him that will be disappointed he didn't get that Premier League move?
Well, possibly. I mean, only the player and his agent and maybe Southampton are the people in the know of what exactly has been going on. There was interest, I think it was from Wolves, wasn't it? And there was a couple of other clubs that were sniffing around maybe, but if it's not cemented and the deal didn't get done, then he's at a happy place, isn't he? He's at a club where he's obviously loved. He's playing regular football, albeit he's not in the starting 11 today. But I think no doubt as the season goes on, he's going to get his game time and he will score goals. And I think with Adam Armstrong, obviously, and Ross Stewart coming through the door at Southampton, they've got a big chance of getting promoted. So, look, it might be a season later, but he could still find himself back in the Premier League next season.
It does feel like they've got a lot of firepower, though, doesn't it, Southampton? You mentioned there Adam Armstrong as well. He's already got 4 goals this season. What have you made of their start to the season, Mickey? They are unbeaten, but maybe have been a bit unconvincing, but, the points are on the board.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. It's all about winning football matches. I watched the first game of the season against Sheffield Wednesday. Teller with that great goal for them to win the game. And you're right, they were a bit unconvincing. I think there was certain periods of time in that game where they looked dominant, a lot of possession, looked as if they were still a Premier League side. I mean, let's not forget, they've still got all that experience in that starting 11 and on the bench. But I think as the weeks have gone by, you look at that Norwich game, I mean, conceding 4 goals at home, it was very bizarre, but I know Norwich can certainly do that. But I think all they'll be concerned about at the beginning of the season, as everyone will say, ex-players will always say, it takes you 6, 7, 8 games at the beginning of the season to still find your feet and to find that 100% fitness. So to have the points on the board already, 10 points in fourth spot, I think they'll be very happy with the start. They're only going to get better under Russell.
Yeah, we've seen some good starts, haven't we, really, in the Championship so far. Leicester, Norwich as well, but Southampton would go top with a win today. Do you put them among the favourites for promotion this season? How likely do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, don't you? They weren't a surprise to me. I think you looked at the squad. Yes, they've obviously lost some quality players, haven't they? But I still think that squad is strong enough. And then the additions that they made yesterday certainly make them as one of the favourites. Leicester, I didn't really know what you were going to get from them, Ollie, because players were leaving left, right and centre, weren't they? And new manager, you just don't really know what's going to happen. But find themselves top of the table before this game kicks off, and they are going to be there. Look, they've got the funds, haven't they? They're able to have a big squad of players. They know what it's like to get out of this division, albeit it's been a long time since they've been in it. But I think having that Premier League quality, if you like, still at the club, always going to give them a chance of being there or thereabouts.
Just very quickly, Mickey, what do you make of their team news today? Quite a few changes for the Saints.
Well, there was 4 changes, yeah. I mean, but that's what I was just talking to you about there, Ollie. I mean, when you've got a big squad, you can make these changes, whether you've come off the back of a win or not. It just freshens things up. I think you look in midfield and Downs and Smallbone, just giving that little bit of assurance, if you like, in that midfield area, because the Stadium of Light's not an easy place to go. Sunderland, I talked about how young the starting 11 is. Well, they've got energy and they've got some quality players as well, so I think that's certainly one thing that Russell Martin's had a look at. But bringing in Mara up front as well, little bit of pace, eye for goal, and he just gives that quality out wide if Adam Armstrong's the one who's going to be playing through the middle.
Mickey, thanks very much indeed. Time now for us to get a quick weather report on Talksport 2, all thanks to QuickFit. Now, it's been a tricky start for Sunderland in the Championship. They've picked up just 4 points from their first 4 games. They're looking to get their season back on track with victory this afternoon, though, and their boss Tony Mowbray feels they've lacked a cutting edge in front of goal, which has proven costly.
I think the performance level of the team's been alright, it's good. I mean, we sat in here the other day with the whole first team squad and went through the first 4 matches with things like the field tilt, the possession, the shots, and so our possession stats have been really high, and I think the only thing that's not really high is the goals for, and that's, in my opinion, there's a relevance to that, and even though we're having lots of the ball, we're getting around the opposition box lots. Our expected goals is lots. We don't seem to have a killer centre forward whose life depends on putting the ball in the back of the net, and I think once we resolve that, we'll be a pretty good team, and if we can keep doing what we've done in 4 games over 40 games, we won't be far away, I'm pretty sure.
Let's bring in former Sunderland left-back Mickey Gray, who's at the Stadium of Light ahead of kick-off. We're only about 12 minutes away, Mickey, from the game. Now, we heard from Tony Mowbray there, the Sunderland manager. He's set them a 70-goal target for this season. Only 3 teams got more than that last season. Do you think it's doable?
Well, it's doable if the players that have walked through the door really help out Sunderland in those forward areas. I mean, there's weight on Mason Burstow's shoulders, who came in from Chelsea. I think we might have seen him in the Carabao Cup in midweek playing for Chelsea, and he looks a real talent. And there was a lot of people in the media room before we came up to the press box. We're talking about how much talent he's got. So yeah, there's a lot of weight on him. I think Bradley Dack's still got time to score goals in the Sunderland shirt, albeit, you know, when he first came here, he wasn't fully fit, but I think certainly he's in the starting 11 today, and I think there's a big weight on Bradley's shoulders. I mean, he's one of the experienced guys now in this starting 11 for Sunderland, isn't he? But how do you replace the goals that Ross Stewart brought to Sunderland and other players who've left or players who've been injured at the start of the season? It's very difficult. And as Tony mentioned there before, I came to the first game of the season, and in the first half against Ipswich, they were absolutely outstanding, and the only thing they couldn't do was put the ball in the back of the net. Ended up losing that game that day, and it was for that reason of creating opportunities but not having that clinical centre forward who was going to get the goals for you. So let's hope that the new signings can help in that situation.
You mentioned the new signings. They also managed to keep hold of Patrick Roberts as well. He was also linked with Southampton. How important could he be this season?
Well, Ollie, I think there was interest in about 6 or 7 Sunderland players, so I think I turned my phone off and my iPad and everything. I just hoping that we were keeping hold of the players. But yeah, I mean, look, Patrick Roberts is a fantastic player. There was other players that there was interest in that were going to leave the club as well. Just to keep hold of them was fantastic. But I think also what you have to remember is we had Amad Diallo, who I think was Championship Player of the Season last season, who was on loan from Manchester United, and they were hoping to bring him back through the door again this season. He's got an injury at the beginning of the season, so he's still at Manchester United. I don't know if anything can be done now to bring him back to Sunderland. I know he loved his time here, but he was such a superstar when he came through the door, and the Sunderland supporters absolutely loved him. So Tony has had to come up with answers. We talk about recruitment at this club. There's been a lot of players who've come through the door who've been playing in France. They've had a little bit of experience, but they're all young players. They're not going to bet into Championship football straight away. It's going to take them a little bit of time. So you just hope that there's going to be a little bit of patience at this club, and if we do get those 70 goals come the end of the season, it means that Tony's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I agree. What do you make as well of one of the players that's been brought in, because he's made a great start to life up in the northeast, Joe Bellingham. His brother's over at Real Madrid, but he's doing quite well at the Stadium of Light so far. What do you make of the way that he started in the Sunderland shirt?
Well, I have to say, Ollie, again, I go back to that first day of the season, and I came and I watched him in the first half against Ipswich, and I just thought he had something special. What a talent. He's graceful on the ball. It's so hard to do a comparison with Jude because he's such an incredible player, but he's certainly got the potential, there's no question of that. I was just, funny enough, before we came on air, I was speaking to Mark about it, and he's playing centre forward today, and it's not a position I want to see him playing in, but because of his versatility, he's able to do that. But I think eventually, when he does go back into that centre midfield role, it's going to be absolutely fantastic to see how he progresses in his Sunderland career. And just as we're speaking, 3 of the new signings from Sunderland have actually just walked out of the tunnel, got a nice reception, so that was nice to see. Pembele, Adewichi, and I think the other one's Mason Burstow as well. So they're getting a taste of what the Stadium Light's got to offer, mate, and it's just about filling up now. And I just hope they can improve today and obviously do well. Yeah, it should be a cracking atmosphere, always is at the Stadium of Light. In terms of the Sunderland supporters, Mickey, what do you think they are expecting this season from Tony Mowbray and his side? Because brilliant campaign last time out, they managed to get all the way to the playoffs, but I mean, what are the supporters thinking this time around? Are they expecting to get into that top 6 again? Well, it's crazy, isn't it, football? I think expectations always rise, don't they, season after season, if you've had a good one the season before, and that's where Sunderland found themselves in those playoff spots. I think just unfortunately when they came up against Luton away from home at Kenilworth Road, they had no centre-halves, and we've talked about Ross Stewart already, so I don't need to mention him again. But look, it was a brilliant season, and I think they reached expectations and a little bit more than that. If they can get anywhere near those playoff spots again this season, I think the Sunderland supporters will absolutely grab your hands.
We're just minutes away from kick-off at the Stadium of Light. As you mentioned, new signings being welcomed by the Sunderland faithful at the Stadium of Light. Now, when we look at the tactical battle, Mickey, how do you see Sunderland firstly approaching this game against Southampton?
Well, from the games that I've seen so far, they obviously love to have a little bit of possession. They will try and get it out wide as quick as they possibly can to probably Abdullah Bar and Jack Clark. Jack Clark, he's an outstanding talent. I mean, it didn't work for him at Tottenham when he went back there and he got a horrible injury, and it was at Leeds United. But since he's put a Sunderland shirt on, he's been one of my favourite players, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he can play against probably going to be Smallbone and Walker Peters. So that's going to be a test for him today. But he loves that challenge, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the wide players do. Can they keep a clean sheet, Sunderland? These two sides, I mean, Southampton, as good as they've done, have not kept a clean sheet in 16 games, and I think Sunderland have not kept a clean sheet in 10 home games. So I'm expecting goals today, but you look at that firepower that Southampton have got, they're going to create opportunities with Dozy, Mara, either side of Adam Armstrong. I think you mentioned it at the top of the show, Ollie. He's an ex-Newcastle player, so coming to Sunderland, I'm sure he's going to get jeered a little bit, but we always know what happens then. Those players are the ones who seem to score the goals, but there's a lot of talent on show and 2 really good sides.
Yeah, plenty of motivation for him. He's a Geordie boy as well, Adam Armstrong. From a Southampton perspective, you mentioned those clean sheets or lack of clean sheets. Now, Gavin Bazunu's in goal for them. It was a tough season, wasn't it, for him in the Premier League, almost thrown in potentially a bit too early. But is this season in the Championship a chance for him to show what he can do and prove that actually he is a capable keeper?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's not going to get tested, let's be honest with you, as much in the Championship as he did in the Premier League. I think he burst onto the scene. I think he saved a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty, didn't he? I think that's when we first heard about him. But I think when you look at Harwood Bellis, who's not playing today, who's going to come through the door, Holgate, great experience, Bednarak, we know he's got huge experience, Walker Pierce, they have got real quality players, so they are going to eventually keep clean sheets. I mean, full testament to them in Russell Martin. They're going out all attack, they want to score goals. They've certainly done that already this season in the Championship, and long may it continue, because that's what we want to see. That's why we come into stadiums, to see goals, to be entertained. But I think eventually somewhere down the line they'll start to keep clean sheets, just with the quality that they've got on show.
Atmosphere building very nicely indeed at the Stadium of Light. Mickey Gray, former Sunderland left back, just talk to me about Southampton as well. We've talked about how Sunderland might approach this game head on as the away side. How do you think they'll start this this game?
Well, as I mentioned before, Ollie, I think bringing back Flynn Downs and Will Smallbone into that midfield area just shores them up a little bit, gives them that little bit of solidity, if you like, and just let those forward players go and express themselves and go and play. Edozie, Mara either side of Armstrong. And Ryan Manning, I think he's got 2 assists already in the 4 games that he's been involved in. So we know that the fullbacks, we know Walker Peters will certainly do that on the right hand side. So you have to watch out for them making 2v1s down the outsides with Edozie and Manning down one side and Walker Peters and Mara down the other side. So they're a real threat. They love breaking forward, counter-attacking team. And I think that's the way they just approach every single game. Attack, attack, attack.
Manning with the most chances created so far for Sunderland this season. And Edozie, you mentioned there. Is he the main danger man, do you think, Mickey? He's just got such a lovely flair about him in the way he plays.
That low centre of gravity, I think, is great in a player when you watch them. They look graceful, don't they? Either foot, you can go either way. And if you're creating opportunities like Edozie can, he's certainly got an eye for goal, there's no doubt about that. He's going to rip this championship apart. He's going to be one of the star players for me. He's got so much quality. Again, you talk about surprises of certain players that actually stay at clubs. He might have been one of them. He's got great ability, so there's no question it's going to be a tough afternoon for Trey Hume in that Sunderland right-back position today.
Mickey, I know you're always professional as ever, never biased in these games, but can you give us a prediction just before we head to the team?
Ollie, you're horrible. I fancy doing that to me. It's a good job there's no Sunderland supporters around me. I'm sure there's plenty listening. But look, I think this could be a Southampton win. I just hope it's a great game and Sunderland perform against one of the top sides who I think are going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season.
Mickey Gray, thank you. The teams are on their way out at the Stadium of Light. Plenty of live football coming your way across the Talksport network this afternoon. Just download the Talksport app for free, and it's as easy as anything to swipe between the 2 stations. Over on Talksport, you can hear live Premier League action as Sheffield United take on Everton. Then from 3, Adrian Durham will take you round the grounds with the fastest goal service on national radio, keeping you across all the games from up and down the Football League. Right here on Talksport 2 as well from 3. We're live from Stamford Bridge with live commentary of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. And from 5:30, be the first to have your say on national radio. It's the Game Day phone-in on Talksport with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonlahor. But right now, the atmosphere is building up at the Stadium of Light. We're ready for some cracking championship action. Will it be a happy trip back to the South Coast for Russell Martin's Southampton side? Or can the Black Cats bite the Saints and end their unbeaten start to the season? Taking you through all the action, former England left-back Mickey Gray and your match commentator, Mark Wilson.
Cheers, Ollie. Oh, it's a privilege to come here to the Stadium of Light, and it is an electric atmosphere, as it always is when we come to this fantastic stadium. Sunderland, after a difficult start, have picked up 4 points in their last 2. Can they continue that little unbeaten run? Or will Southampton possibly be top of the championship come 3 o'clock this afternoon? So much to play for so early in the season. Tony Mowbray names an unchanged 11 from the side that drew at Coventry last week. Patterson the keeper, Hume, O'Nien, Ballard and Sirkin at the back. Neil and Ekwa in midfield with Barr, Datton and Clark just behind Joe Bellingham, who starts up top. No Jack Stevens today for Southampton. Alcaraz Charles and Ameo dropped to the bench as Mason Holgate comes in for his first start. Flynn Downs, Will Smallbone and Sekou Mara also into the Saints lineup. Bazunu is in goal then, Walker Peters, Bednarek, Holgate and Manning at the back. It's Downs, Smallbone and Armstrong in the middle with Mara, Adam Armstrong and Edozie up top. On the bench, very strong looking Southampton bench. Aribo, Shea Adams is there, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, Alcaraz, Charles, Fraser, Ameo and Bree join Alex McCarthy. A little bit less experienced on the Sunderland side of things, and Mickey Gray, that might be where this game tells. I've watched Leicester the last couple of games they've had, and it's been noticeable the firepower they can bring off the bench is so often this level of difference.
No, absolutely right, Mark. There, I think you talk about the squad that Southampton have put together for this challenge of the championship, and just look, if it does come down to those final 10-15 minutes of a game, then you just have to have a look at your bench and the quality that they've got there. Shea Adams, they've just got quality there. Ryan Fraser with a lot of Premier League experience as well, so they've got quality there. They've got that firepower that can score goals in every single game that they play against. And it's going to be difficult for Sunderland. Inexperienced bench, of course, a very young starting 11 as well. But I think everybody's on the same page. They still look at the crowds that they're getting in this beautiful stadium. and they're behind the team, and I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, we are about to get underway. The red and white stripes of Sunderland with the black shorts and red socks. It's the all black chain strip of Southampton. They're defending away to our right-hand side. Gavin Bazunu in his blue goalkeeping strip. Anthony Patterson away to the left in the yellow. And we are underway here. Another huge day of sporting action across the Talksport network. And we're live in the Championship. Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. And it's Sunderland against Southampton. And Southampton have nicked it high up the field. Adam Armstrong is cutting in, edge of the area, 25 yards out, turns onto his right foot. He's going to have a shot. It takes a deflection and it goes wide. Well, if Sunderland think they're going to be allowed to play out from the back today, they need to think again. Corner kick Southampton.
Well, straight away you can see that high press from Southampton, winning the ball up high. Sirkin getting caught on it. Quick corner here as well.
Yeah, going to be whipped in. Again, it's blocked. Loops up in the air. Bouncing around edge of the area, and it's hoofed away by Sunderland, and the break could be on here. Over on that far side, they're trying to break out Sunderland. And they cut infield here. It's Abdullah Bar who does well to get it out wide to Hume on this right hand side. So Sunderland who are defending now, putting a great ball to the far post, free header, and Sunderland lead inside a minute. Jack Clark it is who gets the goal. Wow, counter-attack. Abdullah Bar got it wide on the right-hand side. You put in a delicious ball to the far post. And Jack Clark arriving unmarked. Heads past Gavin Bazunu. What a start here for Sunderland. They lead by a goal to nil.
What a start to the game. End-to-end in the first minute. Chance from Adam Armstrong. What a fantastic break from Bar down the left-hand side. And when he plays it over to this right-hand side with Trey Hume, he puts an incredible ball into the box. And then you just see Jack Clark sneaking in behind Kyle Walker-Peters. He just switches off. You think the ball's just going to go out to safety, but Jack Clark stays on his toes. He has to be patient because the ball's bouncing in front of him, but to keep your eye on it and head that down into the ground. Past Bazuna, super finish early on in the game. Fantastic start from the home side.
What a counter-attacking goal. I know when you were talking to Ollie earlier on and you mentioned that Sunderland like to have a lot of the ball. It was interesting reading Tony Mowbray's pre-match notes. He said, look, this might be one of the few times this season where we don't have a lot of the ball. We've got to be prepared to break and break fast, and that was a lethal counter-attack. Shots on goal at either end, Mickey Gray, but what a start for Tony Mowbray's side.
It's fantastic. We talked in the build-up to the game, Mark, didn't we? That's 17 games now without a clean sheet for Southampton, and I think they were a little bit shell-shocked because nobody expected that, but brilliant start from the home side, and what that does, it gets the home supporters on side straight away in this game.
Yeah, well, we said earlier on we expected there to be goals. We've had one inside the opening minute. There's a free kick conceded by Sunderland, a foul on Kyle Walker-Peters. It's taken quickly. Smallbone will have it, and Southampton, well, they're used to conceding goals, and they've conceded again here. Mason Holgate has the ball, he gets it back to Bednarek, and Southampton now are starting to dominate possession, but they've had an early warning that if they lose the ball high up the field, Sunderland can break quickly. 1-0 if you've just switched on. You missed Jack Clark nodding. Sunderland in front, ball with Walker-Peters on the right hand side, closed down but turns away from his man. He's still going 25 yards out, gets it wide on the Southampton right. Can they fashion an instant response here? They've got the ball wide on the right, down by the corner flag. Cross didn't come in initially, works its way back here, and they've retained possession, Southampton, and it's patient stuff from them as Holgate has it. Every Sunderland player back in the final third. You can see the shape there down below as we're high in the stand here at the Stadium of Light. And now a run from Stuart Armstrong down the left, tries to work a crossing, should be cut out by O'Nien, didn't quite get all of it, but it's hooked away by Ballard and up towards the halfway line. There's appeals for a free kick as Sunderland had a player go down, but referee happy to get it on. I think we're going to see a lot of this, Mickey, now.
Yeah.
Southampton dominating possession.
Well, they are. Every outfield player from Southampton are in Sunderland's half, and you can see how wide the two players are. You can see Mara and Edozie, they keep them wide, but Sunderland are just waiting for their opportunity. Just won the ball back again. They're being patient. They're doing everything right. Early stages, yes, but they're doing everything right so far in the game.
Jack Clark's goal has Sunderland in front. Don't forget, over on Talksport right now, huge game in the Premier League as Patterson's clearance is blocked here, and it'll fall to Downs. Downs gets it away on the right hand side, but the pass forward from Walker-Peters was cut out by Sunderland, and then defended that pretty well, and they earned themselves a free kick throwing midway inside their own half.
Well, the only concern that you have, Mark, in the early stages, if you're in a Sunderland shirt, is how sloppy they've been at the back. Sirkin giving the ball away, Anthony Patterson trying to play out from the back. Look, I think sometimes you can overplay. Yes, of course, all Sunderland players are back in their own half, so it's difficult for Anthony Patterson just to clear his lines. But I think you've got to be so sure. If that ball's at your feet, you've got to try and pick somebody out in a Sunderland shirt, because if you don't, we know what quality Southampton have got.
The goal coming inside, 56 seconds. What a start for Sunderland, and that's after they'd had to defend a corner. There's a strong challenge goes in down below us here, and the referee might want a word there with Manning, who, well, he clattered into bar there. You were a left back of some repute, Mickey Gray. You'd have been pretty happy with that one, wouldn't you?
Well, I'm really surprised. Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised, Mark, that we haven't seen an early yellow card. Look, let's not forget. Let's hope that everybody is listening on Talksport too, but this game's on TV. They know that the camera's on the referee, and we've been told if you can see silly fouls that the yellow card is going to come out of the pocket. And Ryan Manning's a very fortunate young man there, because see Barr, who's back on his feet now, but he was clearly going to get to the ball first. He did so, and I think that was a late challenge.
O'Nien clears downfield, signed a new long-term contract. Ball one, here's Bellingham, edge of the area. Look, drop of the shoulder, gets past his man. Right hand side, he's looking up now to try and find a cross. He's patient, he waits here. He's got Barr with him. Barr, right hand corner of the penalty area. Squares it here. Ekwesi going to lash one. He does! Oh, he's in the bottom corner! What a strike from 25 yards out! Pierre Ekwa picked that one out. Bazuna, no chance. Sunderland lead by 2-0.
Wow, what an incredible start to the game for the home side. Absolutely fantastic. They've been patient, they've worked the ball really well, they've got it into some great areas. Super play this time from Joe Bellingham down the right hand side. He was patient, he waited to pick out the pass from Pierre Ekwa, just waiting on the edge of the 18-yard box, chopped it onto his left foot, kept it low. He just give Gavin Bazuna absolutely no chance in that Southampton goal. It looked like he dived a little bit too late for me, Mark. Whether he saw it late and he had bodies in front of him, I do not know. I'd have to see that again. But again, super strike, and what an incredible start from Sunderland.
Well, Pierre Ekwa was linked with a move to Stuttgart in midweek. Tony O'Rourke will be pretty pleased they kept hold of him now. Nice strike, picked his spot. I think Bazuna, as you said, it's a great shot and it's gone in the corner, but he did seem to go down a little bit late, the goalkeeper. What a start. 2 goals in 7 minutes here on Talksport 2 this afternoon. And now forward come the visitors. Edoze is brought down about 15 yards over the halfway line. Well, they got a dream start with a goal inside 56 seconds. They've added to that now, 2-0. What a wonderful start for Sunderland. And once again showing if they get the ball down the other end, Mickey, they are a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can see they're full of confidence. I think obviously refreshed by those new faces coming onto the pitch before kick-off. It always gives everybody a bit of a boost, a bit of a buzz in that home dressing room. And there's no doubt there's been a brilliant reaction from these Sunderland players.
We saw some fantastic games here last year. Was it 4-4 they drew with Hull when we were here last season? Southampton have already had a 4-4 this season. Here's Smallbone, gets it away. Walker-Peters is going to float it into the far post, but it's too deep over Edoze. And he'll go out on this near side for a throw-in. We've had 8.5 minutes here at the Stadium of Light. The sun is shining down, the goals are flowing. What a perfect way to start game day here on Talksport 2. Talksport, don't forget, live and exclusive commentary. Sheffield United, Everton. Faker Others, Sam Matterface, and the former England man Dean Ashton. And then 3 o'clock we'll be joined Ian Danton, Perry Groves. We'll be live and exclusive at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest, as here comes Sunderland again, looking to break forward. They work the ball out wide on the left hand side. Here's Jack Clark driving in onto his right foot, still going, just overran it. And eventually the ball with Sekumara should clear his lines, but he's given it to Ekwa again. 25 yards out, feeds it to Bellingham. Bellingham tight angle. The crowd were begging Ekwa to have another shot there, and it was on as well. And eventually the ball out for a throw in far side for Sunderland.
Yeah, just couldn't get the ball to settle Ekwa, could he? And this time it fell onto his right foot. It was just bobbling in front of him, but still had the thought process to try and pick out Joe Bellingham, who'd made a lovely little run in behind this back line of Southampton. There's gaps there, isn't it, at the back for Southampton? Holgate coming into that back line. Just have not settled at all yet in this game.
No, they haven't. Approaching 10 gone here. 2-0. Well, Southampton came here unbeaten Well, that unbeaten record is under heavy threat here as Bazuna's trying to play it out from the back. And it's played forward and Sunderland will pick it up on the halfway line. They'll go back to Anthony Patterson. Well, it seems an eternity ago, Mickey, that Adam Armstrong had that shot, within 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You thought, hang on, Southampton have come to play here, but they've been hit on the chin twice. Going to be interesting what they've got in response.
Yeah, certainly. It looked as if they were going to play the high press Southampton, but their tactics might have changed already. Certainly when you find yourselves 2 goals behind in the first 10 minutes, and Sunderland look like they want more.
Here's Jack Clark cutting down that left-hand side. He's on his right foot. We know he can hit them from his time at Leeds. Opted to square. The shot possibly was on there. Abdullah Bar has it on this near side. He will lay it back. Hume puts in another good-looking ball, far post. Might have been an offside flag go up there. It didn't go up. Bazunu comes eventually to collect it. I think he'll be just happy, Gavin Bazunu, just to get his hands on the ball.
Yeah, he does. He needs a feel of that, doesn't he? Because the last 2 times he's had a touch of it, Mark, he's been picking the ball out of the back of his net. I think the offside flag would have actually went up there, but again, it's Sunderland. They're getting out easy from that midfield area, and they're able to play it out to this right-hand side. Trey Hume has got acres of space just to be able to pick his head up and put that ball into the box, and Southampton have to defend for their lives.
Well, if you just switched on, you've missed 10 minutes of wonderful stuff from Sunderland. They lead by 2-0. Jack Clark with a header inside a minute after a great ball in from Trey Hume, and then Pierre Ekwah picking his spot from 25 yards out, low past Bazunu. And Southampton under big pressure here as the ball is worked forward by Downs. Finds a nice pass to Smallbone. Here's Sekou Mara wide on the right, feeds it to Smallbone, flicks it back. Can Mara get on the end of it? No, he can't. And Sunderland really do work it nicely. And now they'll go long as Bellingham's going to give chase here. Bazuna didn't know whether to come or stay at home, and he's headed it straight at Bar, who unluckily for him just couldn't bring down a high ball. But Bazunu there caught in 2 minds, Mickey. He didn't know whether to come or stay, and in the end he ended up doing neither.
Well, Mark, that's just down to a little bit of communication. Gone are the years where you used to have sweeper keeper, but Bazuma on this occasion looked like he wanted to drop back into his 18-yard box because he didn't know if his defender was going to win the foot race. Then he had to come out eventually. He headed the ball to a Sunderland player, and if it fell to Bar, it was a 1v1. Yes, it was a hard chance because he was 30-40 yards out, but here they go again.
3-on-2 here now. Bar working his way into the box. He's got Bellingham with him. Onto his left foot, needs to pull the trigger, and he does, and he pushes it wide. Abdullah Bar, that was a big chance. He almost had too many options in the end. He had Clark at the far post, he had Bellingham with him, but he doesn't hit the target. But once again, Southampton getting ripped to shreds here. 2-0 Sunderland lead.
Again, winning the ball up high, Sunderland. Southampton giving the ball away, but you need willing runners after that, and they've certainly had it in the first 13 minutes of this game through Abdullah Bar, who's been absolutely outstanding, finding him on the left-hand side, setting up goals, and the right-hand side. This occasion, he just tried to wrap his left foot around it, and I think he got it completely wrong, which is why he missed the target, but again, has to go down as another good chance.
It does. What a start we have had here on Talksport 2. Still 0-0 over on Talksport. Sheffield United Everton. If you've got the Talksport app, you can swipe left and right between Talksport and Talksport 2. If you've not got the Talksport app, well, now will be a good chance, a good time to go and get it. It's free and available in all the usual places. You can click on the live spot icon. It'll tell you all our live commentaries. We've got live football, rugby, boxing, all there available on the app. There's a long ball forward, and just finally for the first time a bit of a hush around the stadium. I don't even think the locals can believe what they've seen, Mickey.
Well, I have to, testament to both sides. What a fast start to the game. Both sides have gone at it. Touch on that Adam Armstrong opportunity after 20 seconds. But, if you're Sunderland and you get off to a start like that in the first minute and then double your lead, absolutely fantastic. And it'll keep the crowd on side, because it was always going to be a difficult game, this, against a side that I really fancy getting promotion this season.
Yeah, here now is Stuart Armstrong, out to the Sunderland area, works his way in. Good challenge went in there. Ekwah did well to tidy up as well. Ball played to Bellingham. Looked like he was being held back there, but Mason Holgate will pick it up. He gets it 30 yards out from goal. Bellingham closes him down. Walker Peters has it wide on the right hand side for Southampton. What it does do, it sets this game up perfectly, because Sunderland happy to play on the break today. Southampton want the ball, they're getting plenty of it, but can they fashion a comeback here? 2-0 down they are There's goals elsewhere as well in the Championship. Birmingham, who could have gone top today, they're behind at St Andrews. Nisbet's put Millwall in front in that one, and Swansea lead Bristol City as well. Cullen with a goal there. Swansea 1, Bristol City 0. Get you up to date with the goals as they go, and don't forget all the goals as they go in this afternoon on Talksport with Adrian Durham from 2:30. As here comes Smallbone now, works it wide. Mara has it. Sekou Mara level with the edge of the area, lays it back to Walker Peters. Adam Armstrong just moves out of the penalty area. Nice little bit of play. That could be a free kick. It is. Walker Peters brought down about 25 out. He's right of centre, Mickey, but this is a chance definitely for Southampton to get an attack on Patterson's goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to get a little bit of a hold of the ball now, Southampton. You can see them holding on to it, having a little bit of possession, getting a little bit of joy down that right-hand side. Good play from Walker Peters. When you've got the quality that Southampton have got, yes, look, let's not forget James Ward-Prowse is not here anymore, because he certainly would have been taking this free kick, but I'm sure they've got other willing takers. I think Adam Armstrong looks as if he's across there, small ball. So they've certainly got the quality, and this is where you have to stand tall in the wall if you're a Sunderland defender. And Anthony Patterson certainly has to be on his toes.
Ryan Manning is lining this one up, left-footed, so it suits him, you feel. Patterson all in yellow is right in the middle of his goal. Manning to hit it, and it's in the end, it's a comfortable save for Patterson. It was going in the corner, but Patterson's position was beautiful, and he got across and held it at the first time of asking. Still 2-0 Sunderland.
Well, I think you'd have been disappointed if you were Anthony Patterson and that ball found its way into the back of the net. Look, I think all you can do when you're taking free kicks is hit the target, and that's exactly what Ryan Manning's done there. It will go down as a shot on target. And that's Southampton just finding a little bit more confidence, not really panicking, hoping to try and get themselves back into the game. There's no doubt at certain points in this game they're going to have spells because of the quality that they've got on show.
Yeah, the problem is they concede again. They're in massive trouble here, and every time Sunderland go forward they look like they're going to create something, and now Abdullah Bar almost on the end of Bellingham's flick on. Not the best pass back to Bazunu. He's having a pretty uncomfortable start to his afternoon here on Weir's side, but Southampton play the ball forward, and now there could be a break on as Mara ignored the run forward of Downs, and the ball works its way to Stuart Armstrong, and Southampton now break down their left hand side. 2-0 Sunderland lead. Clark inside a minute, Pierre Ekwah from 25 yards out on 7 minutes, and Southampton having a tough old afternoon here, and the ball works its way forward, but there's a lot to happen in this game. Lots happened in this first half as Jack Clark picks the ball up far side. He's got Walker Peters in front of him. He tried to run round him, and Walker Peters inadvertently, I think, rolls it out for a throw-in just over halfway. Clark doing well there, and Sunderland, I think, just trying to slow the game down a little bit now. They're got off to a great start. They don't need to chase it here, do they?
No, absolutely not. I mean, there's certain key battles out there, Mark, that I was interested to see how it was going to go at the beginning of this game. And one I've been really looking at is Jack Clark against Kyle Walker-Peters. Jack Clark's been wonderful. I said it before, since he's put a Sunderland shirt on, one of my favourite players here, and he's just been fantastic. Every time he picks that ball up, he's got one thought: I get turned forward and I will take my full back on, and he's causing them all kinds of problems down that left hand side.
Yeah, you made that point about his move from Leeds to Tottenham Hotspur. It didn't really work out for him there, but back playing football, and you can see him grow. He's not played that many games, as he's still got his learning to do, but he's doing it on the job and doing a great job for Sunderland. Yeah. Fantastic last season, neat bit of play in the middle of the field, and Ekwah, I think, has been penalised for just tugging back. In fact, it might have been Bellingham who drew the whistle, and it's a free kick for Southampton. And now they've got the ball again. Walker Peters all a little bit tight though at the moment. Back to Bednarek in the centre circle. Lovely day here, the sun beaming down on the immaculate playing surface here. Now there's a chance down the left hand side. Edozie puts the cross in. Is that a foul on the edge of the area? Well, the Southampton player went down looking for a penalty, didn't get one. Now there'll be a free kick for Armstrong, who was brought down by Dan Neil. Southampton are furious they didn't get a penalty.
Yeah, very close, I have to say. They look as if they're frustrated and annoyed, the Southampton players. But David Coote just waved that one on initially, or eventually a foul after that in the midfield area, but a little bit of a let-off there for Sunderland.
It was Manning who went down. Free kick taken. Holgate back to Smallbone, the one who signed a new contract in the last few days. Here he is now, edge of the centre circle, looking to get Southampton moving. Sunderland 2, Southampton 0 if you just joined us. Here now is Flynn Downs, does well, gets towards the 6-yard box, puts a great ball in. Armstrong just couldn't turn it in. Stuart Armstrong will cross it from the left hand side, and it's cleared away. Adam Armstrong inches away from getting one back. That was a beautiful ball in from Flynn Downs.
Brilliant play again. Little give and go from Downs, found himself near the byline, whips the ball in. And Anthony Patterson, he just can't do anything about it. He's got to make himself big. But Adam Armstrong just needed to be an inch taller, didn't he? His toe needed to point it a little bit, and that would have found its way into the back of the net.
Oh, as a Geordie, that was Gaza-esque, wasn't it, for England, sliding in. Oh, it still hurts. Here now, down the right is Walker Peters. That comes off a Sunderland defender, and it goes behind for a corner. So Southampton now starting to build up a little bit of momentum. They trail by 2-0. We've had 20 minutes here live on Talksport 2, the former Sunderland and England man. Mickey Gray alongside us. And Mickey, Southampton are coming back into this now.
Yeah, I knew this would happen. They've got too much quality, Southampton. They're being patient with their play, and they're just waiting for their opportunity to break the lines of Sunderland. They've done that in the last couple of minutes, created two really good opportunities. They've got fantastic quality, and they're going to be a threat in this game. And I do see before this game's out that they will get themselves on the score sheet.
Well, here comes the corner, in swinger, left-footed, in swinging towards the 6-yard box. Patterson comes, didn't quite get there. Ball works its way to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Stuart Armstrong back to Smallbone. Is he going to hit one? He is, and he hits the side netting. I think Patterson would have had it covered. It was worth the effort, but just wide of the target. Still 2-0.
Yeah, Anthony Patterson there coming out to try and clear his lines from the initial corner from Ryan Mann. He didn't really look too convincing. He was a bit flat-footed. He was kind of waving and flapping his hands at it. I want my goalkeeper to come and take everything and clear your lines, get that fist clenched and just make something happen. Get that ball as far away from your goal as you possibly can.
Early goal in the Premier League over on Talksport. Huge goal for Everton. Abdoulaye Doucouré has got the goal. Sheffield United 0, Everton 1. It's live and exclusive over on Talksport right now. So Everton lead at Bramall Lane here at the Stadium of Light. It's Sunderland who are in control, leading by 2-0. Ball down the Southampton left, and that came off the Sunderland player who was appealing there, Abdullah Bar, that it was his throw-in. Clearly it came off him, and Southampton will get the ball back, working it into Adam Armstrong, who's not had too many touches early on here. Had the early shot that got deflected behind. Mara finds Smallbone wide on the right-hand side. Midway inside the Sunderland half, lays it back to Walker Peters. Walker Peters, a couple of step overs, gets it back wide on the right hand side into Sekou Mara now. He gets it away to Smallbone. There are 3 black shirts waiting on the edge of the 18-yard box. The cross though doesn't come in. They'll play it back. Here's Mason Holgate. Looks now to come forward. Sunderland are all back again in the final third, and the pass to Downs was overhit. And in the end, Ballard will have it edge of his own area and looks to break out. We've seen a little bit less coming forward from Sunderland now, because the passing game of Southampton's getting a little bit more on point, and it's a little bit of a chess match at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, ball given away though there by Ekwa, and here now is a chance of Dozy driving to the edge of the area, hits it. Did that hit the post? I think it did, as he lashed it goal bound. It's behind for a goal kick, but that opened up a little bit too easy, and Samadoza, who scored against Queen's Park Rangers, almost added a second goal there.
Well, the last thing you want to do is, first and foremost, is not give the ball away in your own half, sloppy like Sunderland did, but give it to a quality player like a Dozy and then let him come in on his strong right foot. He's got the whole goal to aim for, and I think you're right, Mark. I think it just glanced against that post. They're getting closer, Southampton. Sunderland starting to look a little bit panicky and nervy. Not showing the confidence he did in the first 10 or 15 minutes of this game, and it's certainly been all Southampton over the last few minutes, and look like they're going to try and get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, ball at the other end with Bazunu. He's trying to play out from the back and does so successfully. They'll get it back now again and works its way across to Mason Holgate. 2-0 here. Elsewhere in the Championship, Birmingham 0, Millwall 1. Nisbet with a goal there for the Lions, and Swansea lead Bristol City by 1-0. Cullen with a goal there, and it's 1-0 in the Premier League. Doucouré with a goal for Everton. Huge game at the bottom end of the Premier League. Here now, trying to work his way forward was Doze. He's dispossessed, balls out for a throw-in inside the Southampton half. 2-0 Sunderland lead. Just over 25 minutes on the clock here at the Stadium of Light. I still think the locals are stunned Hopefully they're all in their seats, Mickey, when that first goal went in inside the opening minute.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a brilliant start to the game, I have to say. Two quality sides in front of us, playing the way football, the way it should be played on the floor. Here Sunderland go again.
Here they go again with Neil, just dwelt on the ball too long. And now Southampton will try and break. Armstrong skips past two now. This is Stuart Armstrong, tries to feed Adam Armstrong, just push wide, edge of the area. Adoze makes a run into the box, waiting for more ammunition to arrive. Here's Adam Armstrong. His pass just bounces off a defender and it's out for a throw-in. Not quite clicking at the moment for Southampton. They're unbeaten at the start in the league, but under huge pressure here as Manning's got a throw-in level with the edge of the Sunderland box. He'll get it back. Can he engineer a cross? The ball nicked away from him. Ekwa on the edge of the box. Gives it away again though. Here now is Downs. Ekwa nicked it off him. Did he keep that in? The referee said he did. And now he wins the throw-in. It's interesting, isn't it? We saw Pierre Ekwa last year come into the Championship. Very raw talent, young player. Not played many games, Mickey. And Tony Mowbray said, look, he's got to learn. He made a couple of mistakes. He's got to learn on the job. He looks an entirely different player now.
Yeah, he does. He's certainly involved in all the good stuff that Sunderland are involved in. He's got himself a fantastic goal already in this game. Just giving the ball away the last couple of times that he's had it. Maybe that's just that little bit of inexperience. Again, you're playing against a quality side. You have to be so precise with your passing, but he looks as if he's filled out a little bit as well, Mark. It looks as if he's got that physical presence in that midfield area.
Yeah, he does. Ball over the top. Walker-Peters, can he keep it in? Well, he hoists it high. Linesman on the far side eventually said the ball had gone out. It looked to the naked eye as though it had done. And we are 2-0 here in favour of Sunderland. 26 minutes on the clock. Mark Wilson with the former England and Sunderland man Mickey Gray will be joined later on this afternoon. Ian Danter and the former Arsenal man Perry Groves live and exclusive at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Only place you'll hear it on national radio right here on Talksport 2. Across on Talksport now. Sheffield United 0, Everton 1. And at 2:30 Adrian Durham and the gang will join us for all the goals as they go in on Game Day Live. There's a ball over on the far side with Southampton. They've done well. They work it here. Sekou into the area. Tries to pull it back. Comes off a Sunderland defender. And straight into the arms of Patterson. At the moment, things just going Sunderland's way.
Yeah, but you can also hear the little murmurs in the stadium, can't you, Mark? Because Sunderland over the last 5 or 6 minutes have been a little bit sloppy in possession. They're giving the ball away, which has given Southampton the opportunity. As I talked about, this high press that they've got. When they get the chance to shut you down, they're in your face. You're not going to get space and time, which is why you've got to show better quality when you're on the ball and just be a little bit more patient.
Ball with Ekwa gets it away over on the far side. Here's Jack Clark now. Clark down the left. There's no one in the box yet, so he's going to drive to the byline, waiting for the support to arrive, and his cross is blocked. Really direct from Jack Clark. Not a lot on there, but made something happen for Sunderland and wins a corner.
Yeah, it was a good foot race as well, wasn't it? Jack Clark against Walker-Peters there. Just got that little half a yard on him. Walker-Peters stretching out to give a corner away. But I said it's a very good test, that Clark against Walker-Peters. It's going to be interesting to see how it continues through the rest of this game. But Sunderland again with another opportunity from a set piece here.
Yeah, Bradley Dack going to swing it in from that far side. He's Sunderland left. He's right footed, going to swing it in. Plenty of red and white shirts to aim at. Ball towards the far post. Sirkin couldn't quite get on the end of it. They'll keep this in though, Sunderland, down on this near side. And a chance now to lay the ball back. First time cross goes in from O'Nien. Ball headed up in the air, not cleared yet. Southampton get it partially away. Ball worked out wide. Dack might get there. Does get there. Just had to have a touch. Took him away from goal. Floats it far post. And the Sunderland fans are pilling for a penalty. Ekwa never got off the ground. It's behind for a goal kick. I just wondered there, was Bradley Dack going to take the chance and hit that first time? He opted to bring it down. Didn't quite have the touch he needed.
Yeah, I think you took the words right out of my mouth there, Mark, because as that fell to Bradley, look, it was with a difficult angle. The ball was coming down. It's a very difficult opportunity if Bradley did take it on first time. Look, he's not been involved in the game as much as he probably wanted to so far in the game, but put a lovely corner in a second ago. But that was a chance there. Look, he's a goal scorer, Bradley. You don't lose that. It's early on in the game. You're 2 up. Take the risk, take the opportunity of taking that shot on first time.
I was going to say, if ever the crowd are going to forgive you, it's when you're 2-0 up at home, isn't it, in the first half, if you blaze one high and wide.
Absolutely.
But opted to go for the touch with Tony Mowbray, of course, at Blackburn, so Mowbray knows him well, and a bit of quality, but As you said, I think the game in patches, and no disrespect to Bradley Dack, it's been a bit quick for him, hasn't it? He's bypassed him a little bit.
It certainly has. I mean, the qualities came from different positions. Look, as the game goes on, I'm sure he'll grow into it. He's got too much quality, Bradley. And when you give him that opportunity in that final third, if he finds that half a yard, he certainly knows where the back of the net is.
He does. Bellingham's made a nice run through the middle, but Sirkin didn't get it to him. Here is Dack now, just a little bit deeper, just trying to get a touch of it. We're approaching half an hour gone at the Stadium of Light. 2-0 Sunderland lead. Ball played forward. Holgate read that well, but couldn't control it, and Ekwa now picks it up just over halfway. He'll feed it in to Bellingham. Nice little touch. Here's Dack, plays the ball wide. Can they keep it in? They will. Oh, they did keep it in, but Barr's cross, he slipped as he went to cross it, and it's behind for a goal kick. But Dack there with a vision, just overhit it slightly.
Yeah, but it's the movement, isn't it? I think you can see it. You know, you're not resting on the laurels. They're not watching the pass and admiring it. You can see the willing runners trying to get in behind there. I think as Abdullah Barr got himself to the byline there, Mark, instead of having a look up to see who's in the box because the ball's running out, you just concentrate on making good contact with it, because I think he could have got that ball across to the box a lot better.
Yeah, Ballard a little bit indecisive at the back there. Maybe Patterson could have given him a call from the long clearance downfield, but Trey Hume was there to just head it back to Patterson, and it remains 2-0, 15 to go to the break. Live here on Talksport 2 at the Stadium of Light. Talksport 2, your home of the EFL, and plenty more live commentaries to come across the season. Got some international football on the horizon as well. International break after this one. That's a nice pass forward from O'Nien. Dack will bring it down, feeds it to Clark. Clark looks up, Walker-Peters retreats. Clark driving in direct onto his right foot, hits it, but didn't quite get hold of it. Well, I think you're brave if you're showing Jack Clark in on his right foot, because he will hit them. Scored some goals in the Premier League for Leeds like that, or in the Championship for Leeds, like that. As unnecessary free kick given away by Clark, and Southampton come forward. But Sunderland just seem to have held off Southampton for a little bit, and have had a couple of chances of their own recently.
Yeah, growing back into the game again, aren't they? And I think with Jack Clark over on that left-hand side, it must be a nightmare to play against Mark, because he's comfortable going either onto his left or his right foot. So as a defender, you're trying to show him one way, and it's very difficult if he's directly running at you, because he's got that great balance of moving either way, which is why I said it's going to be a difficult afternoon for Walker-Peters. But I said Southampton look as if they've now, they look comfortable, they look as if they've got that swagger about them, certainly in those midfield areas. But when it comes to the final third, still really waiting for that great opportunity. They put some lovely balls into the box. They've had a couple of close shaves with strikes, hit the side of the post, but it's still not working for Russell Martin in front of goal.
No, they've not created too many genuine opportunities, have they? They've been shots from distance rather than closer created chances. Just that one cross across the 6-yard box when Adam Armstrong couldn't turn it in. They did have the penalty shout declined, and here now is Armstrong, but the pass to Stuart Armstrong wasn't the best from Adam, and O'Nien should clear his lines, and actually does better than that. He earns his side a goal kick. So well defended, Luke O'Nien. And Patterson will wander across in the sunshine to collect the ball, and Sunderland will look to play out from the back as they do. They lead by 2-0.
Luke O'Nien doing ever so well there. Not just a football hero these days, Mark. I think he's a local hero. Saved a dog from drowning, I think it was last week, down Seaburn Beach. So I think that made the back pages more than the football did, because they drew against Coventry, didn't they? But I mean, they love him here. He's got great personality. He's a good character. I think he's just signed a new 3 or 4 year contract as well. He loves it up north. And it's fantastic having players like that who want to extend their time in the northeast, because they're the players that you relate to a little bit more, because they feel more involved in the club the longer they stay, which is great for the area.
Yeah, it is indeed. Ball with Ekwa at the back, plays it out on that far side. Sunderland trying to work it forward. Smallbone heads it down the touchline, and Ekwa will get it back level with his own 18-yard box. And Clark will bring it down midway inside his own half. Left-hand touchline, robust in the challenge. Almost got past Flynn Downs, the West Ham loanee, and Sunderland in there hassling and harrying. Ekwa comes in with a crunching tackle, and Sunderland have won it. And now the break could be on here. Clark was brought down. Sekou Mara take a yellow card. That was never in doubt. Well, Sunderland there, Mickey, they won about 5 50-50 tackles on the spin, and that gets the crowd off their feet.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear the cheers, can't you, when the challengers go in. They love that. They love a 50-50 in the northeast, probably as much as a goal. And there was 4 or 5 in a row, and Jack Clarke eventually coming out with it. Looked as if he was running towards that back line again as Southampton. And Sakamura, I think it was more down to a little bit of frustration from the wide player, just chopped the legs away from Clarke there, and it had to be a yellow card.
Yeah, 34 gone, 2-0 Sunderland lead. Jack Clarke and Pierre Ekwa with the goals. And you have to say, Tony Mowbray, wonderful start for his side, but I think he'd be pretty happy with the way that they responded to that bout of Southampton pressure. And Southampton with it all to do. I think Russell Martin will think if they nick one back before half-time, then they're more than capable of winning this game anyway, but just raise their morale a little bit. Sunderland will be hoping, can they nick a third goal? As Ekwa again, a swagger about his play as he wins the ball, and now it works wide here to Dan Neil. Neil looks up, Bradley Dack's waiting in the middle, took up a good position, they didn't find him. Here's Abdullah Bar, gets it back to Ekwa now. Ekwa just moves it along to Dan Ballard, who comes forward. He'll work it wide on the Sunderland left hand side. Clark's just come in, Smallbone is all over him. That'll be a free kick though. And they clearly know Clarke is the threat now. They seem to be reduced to just fouling him at the moment, Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain players in the Premier League, Mark, that we know every single season. I mean, they're always up there, aren't they, as the most fouled players in the Premier League. And I'm sure Jack Clarke has got to be one of those in the Championship. Yeah, he never gets a split second on the ball. He's always got somebody close around him because they know what quality he's got. He's been on the ground so many times in this game. Obviously, we've just seen the yellow card from the foul on him to Mara, and again just then before, but give Sunderland another chance.
And it's going to be whipped in by Dack from the far side. Floats it far post. Trey Humes unmarked. Couldn't quite in the end get a header. Bednarek closed the space down and won the header. And it's out for a throw in 25 yards away from the corner flag. Sunderland right hand side here. Hume will get it back. And O'Nien will have it just over the halfway. He looks to putting a ball to the far post, which is well dealt with by Walker Peters. Brought down by Mara. He gets it away. And forward now come Southampton with Holgate. Holgate just brings the ball back. Manning will recycle possession and Bednarek will bring it up towards the halfway line. 2-0. Around about 8.5 minutes to go in this first half. It's been a pulsating start to game day here across the Talksport network. Southampton behind here. Sheffield United behind at home to Everton over on Talksport right now as well. As Walker Peters, Southampton just passing it for passing its sake at the moment inside their own half, and Sunderland have realised if they go close down there might be an error in that, as Dan Neil just dropped Mason Holgate there. Little bite around the ankles. Welcome to the Championship, Mason.
You just wonder, Mark, don't you? I mean, the problem that Southampton have had so far this season, look, albeit they're still doing really well, they're in 4th position in the Championship. They overplay at times at the back and make mistakes, and I just wonder whether that's one of the reasons why they brought Holgate in. Look, it doesn't really look comfortable, I have to be honest with you, so far. But people like Harwood Bellis coming into the Southampton squad as well, I think it's a matter of time before he starts playing regular week in, week out, because they've got to shore it up at the back. You can't keep conceding and expect to win football matches every single week.
No, you're asking a lot. Now they've got a free kick just over the halfway line, taken quickly by Southampton. Howard Bellis, who had a great spell on loan at Burnley last season. Ball forward from Stuart Armstrong, ran down a cul-de-sac, and Bellingham, well, Clarke made a great run, but Bellingham just couldn't find him. He does find him eventually. Bellingham now, surrounded by black shirts, will find Dan Neil. Dan Neil's given the man-on cry. He'll work it out to Abdullah Bar. Sunderland need to get some bodies into the box. Here's Bar, stepping over, goes down theatrically, and he's going to get booked for that. That was bordering on Tom Daly-esque, wasn't it, the dive there? Well, he was stepping over, and then he fell over.
Yeah.
Booking for Abdullah Bar.
Well, I think you have to hold your hands up and say deserved yellow card from Abdullah Bar. We talked about the great start he's had to this game, but as he got his head up in the right wing position there, he had one thought process, because he's got his head up, there's nobody in the box for him to pick out, so he had to try and skip past 2 players, try to win himself a foul or a penalty in this case, because he was in the 18-yard box. Just stay on your feet. There might be contact there, but you've got another opportunity to get yourself on the score sheet. Silly place to go down the ground.
Yeah. Free kick given away there by Dan Ballard, who went strongly into the back of the Southampton player. Free kick. 6 to go to the break here on Talksport 2. We had early drama here at the Stadium of Light, and we're going to get late drama end of the first half. A good touch from Neil, but a great challenge there from Flynn Downs when it breaks to Clark, and Clark once again is on his bike, and Clark now has only got Bednarek to beat, and eventually goes down right on the edge of the D. Holgate closed him down. Well, Jack Clark didn't need a red and white shirt around him, he just drove forward from halfway, and eventually he's brought down edge of the D, and a free kick in a dangerous position for Sunderland.
It's just brilliant wing play from Jack Clark. He's been outstanding in this first half. Whenever he picks that ball up, one thought, he gets on the half turn and starts driving at the back four. The Southampton defenders, they're just standing there, they don't know what to do with him. But I think he won a foul in the end, Mark, because I think he was running down an alley and there was no end to that alley. But he's gone to ground, brilliant play, tried to work it again onto his right foot. And what are we, 22 yards out here? Bradley Dack looks as if he wants to take this free kick. Southampton at the back really look shaky to me.
Adam Armstrong is his former Blackburn teammate, standing in front of him about 2 yards away from the ball. Bradley Dack just laughs, marks out his run up here. Bazunu been beaten twice this afternoon. Is there going to be a third first half goal for Sunderland? 5 to go to the break. Bradley Dack the only player over this one. There's a 5-man wall. Here comes Dack now. It's beaten away by Bazunu. And the follow-up was missed there by Sunderland. That was a great chance. And I think it was Trey Hume of all, Sirkin it was, on the follow-up, just couldn't turn it into an empty net.
What a chance. I mean, it's a brilliant free kick, isn't it, from Bradley Dack. Initially gets a lot of whip and pace on it. That's the question of Bazunu. You're right, I think it is. It's either Trey Hume.
I think it was Sirkin.
Sirkin on the ground there. Probably fell to his weaker foot, comes to him very quick, not used to being in that position. But again, massive opportunity for Sunderland to get the third goal.
It was. 4 to go to the break. Corner for Sunderland. More danger. Ball whipped in near post. Is volleyed away. I think he'll be offside here. The man on the far side, Dack, who didn't touch it. Well, the referee said he went to play the ball. It will be a free kick for Southampton. But Bazunu there, a little bit fortunate. His parry went straight into the field of play. But fortunately for him, Sunderland couldn't convert to a third goal. Still 2-0, but a commanding lead as it stands for Sunderland as we go into the final few minutes of the first half here. And the ball played forward by Bazunu, looking for Mara. Sirkin did well there, got up high, wins the header, finds Ekwa. Ekwa's pass back to Sirkin, not the best. He might have to go back to Patterson, he will. Patterson under pressure from Adam Armstrong does well and clears it towards halfway, where Abdullah Ba is beaten in the air. Nice touch from Stuart Armstrong. That's got to be a free kick against Luke O'Nien. And then Armstrong takes it quickly, and O'Nien's going to get booked for that. Wow. And is he trying to stop the quick free kick? I don't know about that one. He's gone to blast it at him, hasn't he, Armstrong? He knew exactly what he was doing there, and O'Nien goes into the book.
I think that's a really harsh yellow card. I have to say that. You could see he was moving away from the ball there, Luke O'Nien. Look, players will always play the game, Mark. They'll try and get an advantage on your opposition if you possibly can, and I think that's exactly what Stuart Armstrong's done in that situation. What he's supposed to do as a defender, look, you've made the foul, you hold your hands up, you start moving away from the ball. Stuart Armstrong's tried to get on with it very quickly, but as a defender, you can't get away from the ball 10 yards as quick as that. And I think the referee, David Coote, should have had a look at himself there. That was a really harsh yellow card.
Well, the free kick worked into the box, far side, headed away. It's not yet clear. Walker-Peters picks it up right hand side of the area, drives to the byline. Can he find a teammate? He had a chance to pull that back. He tried to cross it and he earns a corner here. But Walker-Peters, when he has got in down that side, one good delivery they've whipped in from that side, but that was another opportunity.
Yeah, there's no doubt they've got threats on the pitch, Southampton. Too much quality. Walker-Peters, just that little drop of the shoulder, showing his pace, and I think again, in the right 18-yard box this time, Sirkin doing the job that he's out there to do.
Corner for Southampton. Late stages first half here. Sunderland lead by 2-0. Everybody back for Sunderland. Ball in towards Patterson. Comes this time, he does get something on it, but it goes up in the air, edge of the area. Dack didn't clear it. Now the break. Well, the break could be on there, and they've smashed it downfield. And if they can keep this in, Sunderland, and they have kept it in, over on the far side, support arriving in the middle. Is there a late third call? And Ba, who kept it in so well, then just overruns it and gives the ball away. And now he's got to be careful he doesn't give away a silly free kick, because Southampton penned in their own corner. Ball won back, here's Clark. Clark goes to ground, wanted a free kick, hasn't got one on this occasion. Then a strong challenge goes in there. That was a robust one from Sirkin, and it's a free kick, edge of the area. But on the break, Abdullah Bar, should he have done better there?
He's got to do better, Mark. What a ball again from Jack Clark, who's just basically trying to clear his lines, but it falls into the path of that willing runner Abdullah Bar again down that left-hand side, and he's initially in a 1v1 situation, but he slows it down. Then you can see the Southampton defenders getting themselves back behind, which makes it more difficult for him to try and create something, whether it's a cross or a shot himself, and he just got it completely wrong, trying to play a short pass.
Yeah, I just wonder, Mickey, as Ekwa's won it back high up the field, goes past his man, into the final third he goes, and 4 red and white shirts with him. Ekwa goes for the goal! Oh, what a strike! Pierre Ekwa on his left foot. Well, he scored one earlier on his right from 25 yards, and he's beaten Bazunu from 30 yards out. There was nothing on. He gets it on his left foot, and he whips it in the near post. Sunderland have got their third goal. What a strike it is. Pierre Ekwa at the double. Sunderland 3, Southampton 0.
Well, from a Sunderland perspective, this is what dreams are made of. Nobody would have expected to be going in at half-time. 3 goals to the good. I mean, it's just been absolutely outstanding. And from that man, Ekwa, Pierre Ekwa, is absolutely brilliant. First goal with his left foot, keeps it low. This time, it's a little bit more of a different angle, straight from the edge of the 18-yard area. And as he works it onto his left foot, he just whips it into the corner to give Gavin Bazunu absolutely no chance. There's too much pace on it. What a first half from the home side, and what a first half from Pierre Ekwa.
Wow. Well, we said they scored in the opening minute, and they scored in the final minute of the first half. 3 goals to 0. Is that a hammer blow to Southampton's hope of going top of the Championship this afternoon? 2 added on minutes at the end of the first half. Southampton, I don't think, can get in the dressing room quick enough. Russell Martin with work to do. Tony Mowbray stands on the edge of his technical area. He must be like a proud dad. He's looking out at these young guns of Sunderland. They've made a conscious decision here at the Stadium of Light to get in young talent that they think can grow and develop here under Mowbray's tutelage. And you have to say Ekwa is a fine example, because he's a completely different player to the one we saw last season wearing the red and white of Sunderland.
Yeah, you say, Mark, I mean, he's filled out, as we touched on before. He's got that swagger, that bit of confidence about him, and what a left foot he's got. And what's great about it, Mark, we talked about the 3 new players who got paraded on the pitch before the game. They're sat watching this, and they're thinking, I cannot wait to get involved in this, which is great for Sunderland and great for the squad.
Here are Southampton, the 2 minutes have already been played. Southampton looking to work in down there, right hand side, a frustrated cross, and another potential break could be on if Clark can get to the ball first. He does get to the ball first. He's got Bellingham inside him, and eventually the door is closed on Clark, who falls to the ground as Bellingham then puts in a strong challenge there. That was a strong challenge as well on Mara. And Clark is down, I think, out of sheer fatigue, Mickey. He's run himself up and down that touchline so often this afternoon.
He certainly has. He's getting himself back to his feet now, but that was a strong challenge there. He's just limping, and we've got a half-time now, Mark, as well. What a first half.
What a first half indeed. It started off with Southampton having an early effort on goal inside 20 seconds. That led to a corner, but inside 56 seconds they were a goal down. Break down the far side from Bar. He squared the ball across field to Trehew, put in a great cross from the right hand side, and it was a lovely cushion header from Jack Clark. Sunderland in front inside a minute, and inside 7 minutes they doubled their lead. Pierre Ekwa, 25 yards out, had a shot low into the bottom corner. Bazunu dived late. It was 2-0. Southampton had a big appeal for a penalty kick that was turned down when Manning went in. He went into the area, he was brought down. They had a couple of shots, one that hit the side of the post, and then there was a great cross from the right from Mara across the 6-yard box. Armstrong couldn't turn it in, but Sunderland weathered the storm, and they ended the first half very much in the ascendancy, and that ascendancy was capitalised upon when Pierre Ekwa, out of absolutely nothing, whipped in a shot on his left foot, 30 yards out. Bazunu got a hand on it. He couldn't keep it out. Nobody, barring Pierre-Ekwa, was expecting Pierre-Ekwa to shoot. He did shoot, and he makes it at half-time. Sunderland 3, Southampton 0. Mickey Gray, you said Southampton were going to win today. What's gone wrong?
I was certainly expecting goals in this game, Mark, because we touched on the clean sheets, on a lack of them from Sunderland and Southampton. Certainly Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, but what a shock and what a brilliant start to the game after 1 minute. It could have been one down when the opportunity from Armstrong, they break down the other end. I have to say, I think Jack Clarke's header is a brilliant header. He has to keep his eyes on it, he's got to keep his eye on it, he's got to head it down into the ground, past Bazunu, who I think's looked really shaky in his first half. I have to say the Southampton goalkeeper, but the two strikes from Pierre-Ekwa have been absolutely outstanding. The first kept it low, again gave Bazunu no chance, but that second finish was absolutely top class. No, pick a star of the first half. I was going to talk about Jack Clarke, who I think's been absolutely sensational in the first half. His energy levels are incredible, but when you've scored 2 goals like that, Pierre-Ekwa, take a bow. What a first half performance from Sunderland.
What a first half. We've seen a lot of youngsters on the Stadium of Light pitch now getting their chance in the glory. They'll be dreaming of being like Pierre-Ekwa, like Jack Clarke, wearing that red and white of Sunderland, because in that first 45 minutes the Black Cats have been absolutely superb. We'll be looking forward to some of our other live and exclusive football coming up here on Talksport 2 this afternoon. We'll go to Stamford Bridge. We'll hear from Ian Danta and the former Arsenal, and Perry Groves ahead of our live commentary this afternoon from 3 o'clock as Chelsea take on Nottingham Forest. The only place you'll hear it, not on the TV anywhere in the UK, the only place you'll hear it live on national radio is right here on Talksport 2. What a start to Game Day Live. We're up here at the Stadium of Light, and the lights are shining brightly for Sunderland. At the break, they lead Southampton by 3 goals to 0. Yeah, Talksport 2 live at the Stadium of Light. First of a double header of live national radio exclusive commentaries here on Talksport 2 this afternoon. And what a start for Sunderland. They lead Southampton by 3 goals to 0. All the second half commentary to come here with myself and the former Sunderland man Mickey Gray, who's been leaping up and down out of his seat in that first half. So good were Sunderland. Elsewhere on Talksport live and exclusive right now, Sheffield United have turned it around against Everton. Everton took the lead. Decore with a goal on 14 minutes, but Cameron Archer with his first goal for the Blades, and then an own goal from Jordan Pickford deep in added on injury time means at the break at Bramall Lane it's Sheffield United who lead Everton by 2 goals to 1. Mickey, we were just chatting off air there. That is such a big game, isn't it, at this stage of the season? If the Blades can get 3 points there, that would be massive for Paul Heckingbottom's side.
Oh, I mean, it's huge, isn't it? I mean, you say, look, we're only at the halfway stage, but that climbs Sheffield United out of the relegation zone. And even at this early stage in the season, Mark, you kind of think to yourself, it's better to be out of them than in them. Whereas Everton still searching for their first point of the season. I mean, where does Sean Dyche go? I mean, they brought in Beto, who looked pretty lively in midweek against Doncaster and got his goal and hit the post with a header as well, and it looked as if he might be the missing piece for Everton to keep them in the Premier League. But when you've been down there for 2 or 3 seasons, it's so hard to claw your way out, and it's going to be a tough all season for them.
Are they in danger of doing a Sunderland, do you think? As in, Sunderland was circling at the bottom for a couple of seasons, they kept digging themselves out, but eventually if you stay there long enough, you fall through the door, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, they say your club's not big enough to get relegated, and Everton might be one of them. Let's not forget Aston Villa did exactly the same thing. We know what a big club Aston Villa are and how difficult it was to get themselves back into the Premier League, and it might be the same situation. We know they've got FFP problems, Everton, they've got this new stadium. Can you imagine going into a new stadium and playing Championship football? Unthinkable.
It is indeed. Elsewhere in the Championship, Birmingham 0, Millwall 1 is the half-time scoreline, and Swansea 1, Bristol City 0, also half-time in the Championship. Well, what a first half it was for Sunderland. They lead Southampton after a breathtaking first 45 minutes. Sunderland, after a difficult start, have picked up 4 points in their last 2. Can they continue that little
unbeaten run. Putting a great ball to the far post, free header, and Sunderland lead inside a minute. Jack Clark it is who gets the goal.
Ball, right-hand corner of the penalty area. Squares it here. Ekwa, is he going to lash one? He does! Oh, he's hit the bottom corner! What a strike from 25 yards out. Pierre Ekwa picked that one up. Ekwa's won it back high up the field, goes past his man, into the final third he goes. There are 4 red and white shirts with him. Ekwa goes for goal! Oh, what a strike! Pierre Ekwa on his left foot. Well, he scored one earlier on his right from 25 yards, and he's beaten Bazunu from 30 yards out.
From a Sunderland perspective, this is what dreams are made of. Nobody would have expected to be going in at half-time. 3 goals to the good.
So Sunderland lead Southampton by 3 goals to 0. And we're going to see a change from the visitors here. Shea Adams didn't leave Southampton in the transfer window, and he is on off the bench. He's come on for Stuart Armstrong. Start of the second half. Mickey Gray, Russell Martin. I think that third goal has forced his hand, hasn't it, at the end of the first half? He needs goals, and he needs them quickly.
Well, absolutely. They've got to get themselves into the game as quick as they possibly can. I think Shea Adams brings that bit of physicality. He'll obviously play as on the high line. You're trying to use his pace. He's got an eye for goal. And they've got to get off to a good start in this second half, Mark, as you said, to try and get anything from this game.
Yeah, we'll give you the 2 lineups in just a moment. We're just waiting for David Cook to get us back underway here. Sunderland in the red and white stripes, attacking from right to left. The all black strip of Southampton. Shea Adams will get us back underway here at the Stadium of Light. 3 goals to 0. And Southampton have given the ball away instantly from the kickoff. Bar down the right-hand side. They're busting to get into the penalty area here. Abdullah Bar has it, lays it back. And they'll look now with Hume. That's a nice ball over the top. The offside flag hasn't gone up here. Down the right-hand side. Ball in. Chance for Bellingham. Just couldn't head it in. And the shot from an angle from Sirkin is last wide. Bellingham there, Mickey Gray. Looks certain to score. He just couldn't get a head on it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he was 6'2" and then went to 5'8" there, Mark, but I thought that was a brilliant opportunity, albeit again really early on in this second half. But it's brilliant play from Sunderland. I think it's Dan Neil who just whips that ball into the area, but he looked like he timed his run, Joe Bellingham, absolutely perfectly. Just needed to make contact with it, but skimmed across the top of his head there. Chance gone, but again it's a bright start from the home side.
Yeah, great header from Ballard all the way through to Bazunu, who is in goal for Southampton, who've got a back 4 of Walker Peters, Bednarek, Holgate and Manning. It was Downs and Smallbone now in midfield with Shea Adams, Samadozi and Sikumara up in support of Adam Armstrong, who will lead the line. For Sunderland, Patterson is the goalkeeper. It's Sirking, Ballard, O'Nien and Hume the back 4. Pierre Ekwa and Dan Neil in midfield with Clark, Dack and Barr behind Joe Bellingham, who starts up top. Now Southampton, Mickey Gray, 90 seconds into the second half, not started too well.
I mean, you can talk about having experience, Mark, in players who come in you think are going to be good signings for Southampton, and I'm sure he will as time goes by. But Mason Holgate looks really, really sloppy at the back. Funny enough, I was talking to Don Goodman before the game kicked off, and he said when he was at West Bromwich Albion he made mistakes, and I'm seeing those mistakes in front of me in this game today. They look really shaky at the back, Southampton.
Yeah, they do indeed, as the ball worked back by Flynn Downs to Bazunu, who clears on his left foot. Ball headed away by Ballard, picked up by Pierre Ekwa, who now finds a pass to Clark, and Clark's got a bit of room in front of him. Walker Peters gets it there, but Sirkin is on the overlap. Sirkin pulls it back, free header straight at the keeper, and now the cross comes back in and it's bundled in, and it's Bradley Dack. Sunderland lead by 4. What a start to the second half. What a performance this is. Southampton are all over the shop, and Sunderland are making them pay. Point blank finish from Bradley Dack. Sunderland lead by 4 goals to 0.
We talk about the goal itself initially. I mean, Jack Clark and Sirkin down this left hand side. It's just an overload. The 2v1 situation. Sirkin just whips that ball to the 6-yard box, and Bradley Dack, he's always had that brilliant timing into the area. What a save from Bazunu initially, but when the ball bounces down in the 6-yard box, Bradley Dack just pokes his leg out and puts that ball in the back of the net. Thrilled to pieces for him. He's had so many injuries. Let's hope it works for him in a Sunderland shirt. It certainly looks like it is doing today, but let's go to the defending from Southampton. It is so easy for Sunderland to get in behind them because they're just working as individuals. There's no cohesion between the back four of Southampton. They're just trying to clear the lines. It's clearly not working. Russell Mark must be scratching his head, wondering what is going on at the back. So sloppy from Premier League experienced defenders, and they're just making mistake after mistake after mistake. It's been really poor from Southampton at the back, really poor.
4-0. What a start to this game. What a start to Game Day exclusive on Talksport 2. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest to come, but Sunderland here 4 goals to the good. I've got a question for you, Mickey Gray. If you made the trip from Southampton, what will it be, 7 hours with a stop? Are you thinking about going home now?
Well, Mark, I mean, let's think about that. We're thinking 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, coaches must be leaving. You find yourselves 3 down at half time. You want a reaction from your players coming out in the second half. Jay Adams, they've made that change. He's not had a touch of the ball yet. I mean, how frustrated are you after you're a Southampton supporter seeing a performance like this?
Here now is small one. That's a nice ball in chance for Adam Armstrong. Great block. And I think the Sunderland player has picked up an injury there trying to block it, and it doesn't look nice. Is it Ballard, I think, who threw everything at putting the block in? And I think he's come off worse, and the Sunderland players and the referee quickly around him, and this is a worrying development for Sunderland.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, initially, I think it is Dan Ballard who finds himself on the ground. I mean, it's a brilliant block jackal, isn't it, from Adam Armstrong. Good play from Southampton, who worked the ball actually really well down the right-hand side. It's that pull back towards the penalty area. You see Armstrong's made a really good run. He's now took up a position on that left-hand side, but just hope that the defender's okay. Still on the ground. You could see the Sunderland players were waving the physios on straight away. Let's hope that he makes a speedy recovery. He can get himself back on his feet and hopefully continue for the rest of the game. But if not, I think everybody in the stadium keeps their fingers crossed, because it looked a bad one. He's a knee twist or something, Mark. It looked like his ankle, He
threw everything, didn't he, in, and it looks innocuous in itself, but clearly there's a lot of worry around him. And well, I'm sure Tony Mowbray will be getting the subs warmed up away to our left, but yeah, it's one of those, you hope that it's not as serious as it looks. And well, Southampton just stood around. They're not even I thought Southampton here might be having a bit of a team talk. They just stood individuals looking into space. They can't believe what's happened. They're 4-0 down here, and from the after they had that corner on 30 seconds, they've been second best, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Keep conceding goals. Maybe they're a little bit too embarrassed to run across to the manager, Mark, because they'll be worried of actually what he's going to say to them. I think Russell Martin's probably looking at that back line and thinking, I've made a change up front, but really I should have made a change at the back. I think it's a matter of time before Harwood-Bellis comes onto the pitch, whether they change the system and go to a 3. Look, it's a little bit too late for them now. You can't exactly see them getting 4 goals in this game. I mean, I hope I don't eat my words at the end of this match, let's be honest with you, but it's just been so scrappy from back to front from Southampton. They had some good opportunities in the first half. They weren't clinical enough to put the ball in the back of the net. But if you haven't got that balance of keeping clean sheets and scoring goals, I know they've had a good start to the season, but it catches you up eventually, and it certainly looks like it's caught them up today.
Well, Dan Ballard is hobbling off to this near side, but he's up on his feet. That is good. Look, you pointed this out when you were talking to Wally before the start of play about Southampton conceding goals. They've now got the worst defensive record in the Championship. This is the second time in 5 games that they've conceded 4 goals.
Yeah, I mean, 11 goals in the Championship, and the season's just started. It's too many goals to concede. That's twice now they've conceded 4 in the first 5 games of the season. Something has to change. We talk about Holgate. I don't want to keep pointing the finger at him, because there's other defenders out there, but when you've got Harwood-Bellis, who is tried and tested in the Championship, got promotion with Burnley, had a brilliant season, I don't understand why he's not playing today.
Well, he's on the bench as Dan Ballard does come back on, much to the relief of everyone here at the Stadium of Light. I can tell you that Bristol City have got a leveller at Swansea. Swansea 1, Bristol City 1. Sykes with the equaliser just 3 minutes into the second half there. Here, though, 4-0. And over on Talksport, Sheffield United 2, Everton 1. Sport for choice today on the Talksport network. If you got the app, you can swipe left and right between the two. Southampton now have got the ball back, and well, what a difference 5 minutes can make. At 2-0 just before half time, you're thinking maybe Southampton can get back into it. They might get a chance here as Adams trying to get on the end of Armstrong's header, but Patterson comes out and claims it. You're thinking at 2-0, Mickey, if Southampton score next, this is game on, but that Equa second goal, and then to start so badly as they did in the second half. Russell Martin was thinking, hang on, what, I've just wasted 15 minutes talking to you at half time and you come out and do that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's basically all your tactics just go out of the window, don't they, in that 15-minute half-time break, because you ask more from the players and they're not giving you more. You make that change to try and make it a positive change for your team, and they just haven't got going. Look, they've had half chances, Mark, haven't they? You know, they get themselves into good positions. Well, it's about putting the ball in the back of the net. Doesn't matter what the build-up's like. When that ball comes into the box, you have got to be clinical. That's why they brought Shea Adams on. But I'm sure at 3-0 down, coming onto the pitch, he's wondering, you know, am I going to win the game for Southampton today? You're just going out to try and claw your way back into the game, and it's not happened for them.
Sunderland have got a throw-in down by the Southampton corner flag in their left-back position. They're trying to work it into the edge of the area. They'll earn themselves a corner. Holgate pokes the ball behind for a corner to Sunderland. Look, it's not often in the Championship, Mickey, you can enjoy the second half, but at 4-0, these fans are lapping this up, aren't they?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Tony Mowbray's probably thinking a little bit different. He wants his players to stay concentrated. Of course he does. And if they can add to this lead, then fantastic. But I think discipline, let's not forget, they want to try and keep a clean sheet if they possibly can. They've just got to try and keep doing their job right. And if they keep doing that right, it'll be a beautiful day for them.
Well, Tony Mowbray's just given the fans behind the goal away to our right a round of applause. Ball crossed into the far post from the corner, headed across goal by Bellingham, not initially cleared. O'Nine's encouraged to shoot. He's going to shoot, and it dips from 35 yards. It landed inches over the bar. I think, to be fair to Bazunu, he's got it covered, but the confidence flowing through the Black Cats' veins here. O'Nine encouraged to shoot, chests it down and volleys it inches over.
Well, wouldn't that have been the perfect week for Luke O'Nine? We talked about him being a local hero, signing his new contract as well, and trying out 35-yard out volley. I mean, it's just everything's working for them today, isn't it? Great strike, and I think Bazunu panicked in the end.
He did. Here's Clark driving forward, 20 yards out into the area. Is he going to be out? Muscle gets the shot away. Bazunu made a great save. Low to his right-hand side. It looked like Clark was going to be the meat in the sandwich. Two defenders closed down on him, but Clark somehow got the shot away, and Bazunu, you have to say that's a fine save to keep it at 4-0.
What a save. What a save, Mark. Sorry for jumping in, Mark, there as well. But look, I've seen some good performances from Sunderland over the last couple of seasons, but I think when you look at the quality, what they're up against today, this probably has to go down as the best performance I've seen in a couple of seasons. Sunderland have been outstanding from front to back. They all look as if they're enjoying themselves. I talked about bringing those new players into the dressing room and showing them off on the pitch before the game. And certain players leaving the club, it sometimes galvanises you. Well, it's certainly done that today.
It has. Good strong challenge over on the far side. Ball out from Hume for a throw into Southampton. And we've had 12 gone second half on Talksport 2. Sunderland 4, Southampton 0. Well, I saw Blackburn score 8 in midweek at Harrogate, but this is an entirely different proposition. This is Sunderland really doing a job on Southampton here. 4-0. The fans are in great voice, but Southampton will come forward. The problem they've got is Clark tries to clear the ball away and does find a teammate. Neil was fouled. Referee comes back for an earlier free kick for Sunderland. The problem Southampton's got, if they go out and chase the game, Sunderland are just going to sit there and pick them off at will, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's been some big scores against these two sides, Mark, and Sunderland have been on the end of them. An 8-0 drubbing from Southampton, I think, back in 2017. They also beat them 4-0 as well, and you're right. This is where you've got to show professionalism, isn't it? You have some pride in keeping a clean sheet, and if you can get more goals, brilliant. There is going to be gaps at both ends of the pitch, no doubt about that. But when you get those chances, make sure you put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, here's Adam Armstrong breaking into the area. He feeds it wide. Cross across goal, looking for Shea Adams, and Ballard was there. Last-ditch sliding challenge, 6 yards out from his own goal. Puts it behind for a corner for Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, they've still got quality, Southampton. I mean, you can't switch off. Well, that Shea Adams wants to get on the end of things, just put a quick corner in there, which Sunderland have cleared, but they're going to create opportunities. But still more than 30 minutes left in the game. They'll still think they have a chance of getting something from it. Yeah, well, they won't give in. They've still got over half an hour left, and they get one quickly, then who knows what may happen. But 4-0 is an awfully big mountain to climb as Russell Martin comes to the edge of his technical area. Here now is Walker-Peters, looking to get it wide to Mara. He has it on the left-hand side, lays it back now. Here's Bednarek, moves it to Holgate. Again, Sunderland just dropped back in. Is Holgate going to have a shot? He is from distance. Oh, Patterson got that one wrong, and he's a very lucky boy. He went down almost like a cricketer in the outfield, put his knee down to pick it up. It squirms off his fingertips and goes inches wide of the post. That would have been a horror moment. It's a corner. It could have been so much worse for Patterson. Well, you can't believe it. I talked about being disciplined and staying switched on and having that professionalism. He just switched off Anthony Patterson as if that ball wasn't going to come to him. Lucky boy.
Corner for Southampton, a gift corner. Can they turn it into a goal? Ball floated far post, headed across, well, into the side netting, really. That was a chance. Holgate, free header, far post. He's got to hit the target, or at least put it back in the 6-yard box.
It's two brilliant opportunities, isn't it? The first one he made himself, Mason Holgate, super strike, causing all kinds of problems to Anthony Patterson in that Sunderland goal. Nearly found its way into the back of the net, but you're right, a centre-half coming up, free header, no challenge on him. He has to hit the target.
He does. With an hour gone, he wasted that opportunity. There's been an equaliser over on Talksport. Danjuma has got an Everton second goal. Sheffield United 2, Everton 2. It's live and exclusive over on Talksport right now. Faye Carruthers with Sam Matterface and the former England man Dean Ashton. Game on at Bramall Lane. Here now, Southampton coming forward again. They'll work it out wide on their left. Cross comes in towards Adams, tries to chest it down. He goes down. It was waved away. Referee was having none of that. As the ball played back by Bednarek, and he now gets the ball away, courtesy of his goalkeeper over on the far side. And Southampton will look to build again.
Well, Mark, I'm not saying that they were similar, but you're in the 18-yard box and Shea Adams has clearly tried to go down there to win a penalty for his side. I'm sure there was a bit of contact on the back of his head. He's up on his feet again already. And was it Abdullah Bar who got the yellow card for diving in the first half? I think if you're going to have the right balance from first to second half, David Coote's probably going to have a look at that one and think, did he deserve a yellow card? He's got away with it this time. I think that was a bit of a dive from Shea Adams.
Yeah, I think in the Olympic scale of it, Abdullah Bar was gold, that was more bronze.
Yes, I agree. A dive's a dive, though.
It is. Here comes Southampton forward now, up towards the halfway line. They're looking to work it forward, but Sunderland intercept the play, and now they're looking to bring it forward. And now they have it wide on the left. Early ball in, is looking towards Jack Clark. It was cleared away. And now Flynn Downs will try and work it further clear. Ryan Fraser's come on. I think in the aftermath of that fourth goal, he's come on. He's over on the far side. Ryan Fraser has come on. And the ball is with Walker-Peters, who now finds Shea Adams down the right-hand side. There could be danger here. Fraser's trying to get into the middle. Here's Sekumar, edge of the area. Is he going to unleash a shot? Wanted too long on it. He's done well to retain possession. Challenge comes in. Downs will move it across to Armstrong. Thought about the shot. Moves it to Fraser, who gets booed. The Newcastle connection not forgotten here. Ball to Mara, far post, and he's headed it over. It's another presentable opportunity for Southampton. It's another wasted opportunity. And we're about to see changes from Sunderland, who are about to bring on two changes. So Joe Bellingham is one that is going off. He is going to be replaced by the number 9 Namir. Lewis Hamir is coming on. And also coming on into the action is Alex Pritchard, who will replace Bradley Dack. So Bradley Dack's afternoon, well, he's got his goal, he'll be pretty happy with it, and it's high fives all round as a double change there made by the home side. We're also about to see a change here for the visitors as well, as Shea Charles is about to come on, and he will replace Mason Holgate. I dare say this is going to be a change of formation.
Well, it has to, hasn't it? I think Southampton have got to come up with some answers. Holgate, he's had those couple of opportunities in the opposition's half, but I think defensively is maybe a question mark over him. How fit is he at the beginning of the season? So Charles coming into that back line, but it still looks like a flat back four to me, and still no Harwood Bellis, which really surprises me. I think the changes self-explanatory for Sunderland. Bradley Dack and Joe Bellingham have run themselves into the ground, still looking for that 100% fitness, but Pritchard's clever, he keeps hold of the ball, bit of experience in there as well, and Hemir coming up front with a bit of youthfulness, if you like, and let's hope he can enjoy his day in a Sunderland shirt.
Yeah, well, 4-0 at home. Not many better times you'll get to come on as a substitute, and still about 26 minutes to play here on Talksport 2. Jack Clarke fired Sunderland in front with a lovely header inside 60 seconds, and a double from Pierre Ekwa. One from 25 yards on 7 minutes, then from 30 yards right on half time. Curled it in past Bazunu to make it 3-0, and Bradley Dack turned in from close range, and here's Pritchard looking to add to the tally. Jack Clarke wide on the left hand side, down to the byline, will lay it back to Pritchard onto his right foot, drives across low, cleared away. And a strong challenge there from Dan Ballard, maybe too strong. Referee blows a whistle. It's a free kick for the visitors, Southampton. 4-0 Sunderland lead here.
I think Alex Pritchard, he tried to just whip that ball in with a lot of pace there. Didn't really get the height on it, but you could see how close these Sunderland defenders are to Shea Adams. He found himself in his own half. I would call it a clever foul, Mark. Southampton not really going anywhere. Sunderland just trying to calm the game down a little bit, played at their pace if they possibly can.
Elsewhere in the Premier League, live and exclusive on Talksport 2, Sunderland 2, Everton 2 there. Strong challenge goes in, a lovely challenge as well from Jack Clarke, showing that he can get back as well as go forward. Birmingham have got a leveller at St Andrews. Stansfield scored again, 1-1 with Millwall. And Bristol City have come from behind at Swansea. Cullen put Swansea in front, but Sykes and Bell, 2 second half goals. Bristol City lead by 2 goals. So don't forget all the goals as they go in with Adrian Durham on Talksport from 2:30. Here on Talksport 2 from 2:30. We've got live exclusive commentary on national radio from the Premier League as Chelsea take on Nottingham Forest. Ollie Klink with Ian Danton, the former Arsenal man, Perry Groves. Here comes Southampton forward again. Nice layoff from Adams. Finds Armstrong, who finds Fraser. Ball in. Pritchard is back defending, and he gets it away. Back to Fraser, who's, I was going to say he's onside, but he's not onside because the ball came off a Southampton player and he was about 3 yards offside. Flag goes up, and it's a free kick for Sunderland.
I'm just interested. I mean, Tony Mowbray's never really too irate in that technical area, but I just wonder whether he's trying to get a little bit of information onto his players just to take the sting out of the game, calm things down a little bit. They've got themselves into such a convincing position. They've got to try and play the game at their pace, because we know that Southampton are going to come with the quality and the pace that they've got. They've got goals in the side, and when they get those opportunities, if you keep going back to it, if you switch off with this side who are playing in the Premier League, opportunities, they're going to take them.
Another free kick for Southampton. Doesn't matter to Sunderland now if the game breaks up a little bit and it gets a little bit stop-start. It really slows Southampton down, who are desperate for at least one goal here to try and work their way back into it. Now the ball over on the far side. Cross comes in, cleared away, and here's Ekwa now. Inside his own half, finds Pritchard. They've got an overload of players here, Sunderland, if they can find one ball. Pritchard has it back. They had 2 on the left, they go 2 on the right, they went to Clarke on the left. He stumbles on the ball but finds Pritchard again, and maybe just the momentum gone from the attack. It maybe needed to go to the right hand side there, but Ekwa's back on it again. He's encouraged to shoot from 40 yards. Instead, he'll play it to Barr, who's wide on the far side now, looking to lay it back, and they've got it. Chance now to put the cross in Sunderland. Can they get a 5th goal? They will whip the ball in, and it's headed away by Bednarek, and it'll be picked up at the back And Southampton go back to Bazunu, who eventually clears it forward. And that's handball there. As Shea Adams handled the ball on halfway line and then had a shot from the centre circle that went just wide. The whistle had already gone, but why is that not a yellow card?
I don't get it, Mark. Is it one rule one week and one rule the next? We've been told at the beginning of the season from officials that they're going to be consistent. And we've just had another one there because Luke O'Nine's played a ball out. It's hit Shea Adams. He's now being given a yellow card because, as we saw in the first half, with a yellow card, I think it was Luke O'Nine, wasn't it? Was kind of advancing away from the ball, and the same thing's happened now to Shea Adams. But just before that, he took a shot from the halfway line when clearly the whistle's been blown. He's tried to score, and the referee's just waved it by David Coote. You've got to be consistent. You're going to do it in the first half, you have to do it in the second.
Ball. And another free kick comes here. Trey Hume has gone down, and Southampton's frustration, you can feel it growing by the moment here. And you really can. And the ball on the halfway line. And now here comes Sunderland again towards the edge of the area. Pritchard has it now. Pritchard, left-hand side of the penalty area, lays it back to Jack Clark. 4-0 Sunderland lead, looking for a fifth goal. Clark goes past one, finds Pritchard. Pritchard, though, eventually out-muscled, and Mara will bring the ball forward, but he's given it away to Ekwa. He was going to hit that. He feeds it in here to Semedo on his right foot, back onto his left foot, onto his right, shoots deflected wide.
Brilliant play again. And again, you're just looking at, maybe we're getting too greedy here, but Ekwa, it fell onto his left foot. Yes, it was a tight angle again. Similar position, edge of the 18-yard box. Get your laces through it. But he was clever. He played an Emir there, just at the edge of the box. Lovely feet. Got his shot away initially, but a little slight deflection just took it away from the Southampton goal.
It's Luis Hamir Semedo, isn't it?
Yeah.
His full title. Luis Hamir on the team sheet. And he's in the penalty area now, looking to get on the end of this corner that's going to be fired in by Pritchard. Whip on it, and good header. Bednarek falls on the volley, side-footed and cleared away. It fall to Clark. Is he going to shoot? No, he'll square the ball to Neil. Neil shot blocked. Well, they're not letting up here, Sunderland. At 4-0, you could forgive them for maybe putting the cue on the rack, Mickey, but they clearly want a fifth goal here.
Well, I think it's just great to see. Sunderland supporters will be in this stadium tonight, absolutely loving this. Sometimes you can get a side who get themselves in front and then sit back and just try and see the game out. Well, they're certainly not doing that. Got too many offensive players out there who are enjoying themselves, who want to get themselves on the score sheet. And if I'm watching Southampton over the next coming weeks, the teams that have got to play against them, Mark, I'm saying get at this back four. Get at this defence, because they're making silly mistakes. They give you opportunities. They're not keeping clean sheets, and there's a chance to beat them.
Southampton are still trying to play it out from the back. They trail by 4-0. Here's Mara, right touchline. They're coming together there with Sirkin, and then the ball poked out by Pritchard. And we've seen, Pritchard has come on, as we are going to get another change here, and it's Joe Aribo who is coming on, and he's coming on for Sekou Mara, who was booked in that first half, and his afternoon is done. So Joe Aribo on. But just the point I was going to make, we've seen Pritchard come on, and we've seen him make a couple of good tackles as well. So it's not just all the fancy stuff, is it, that Tony Mowbray wants from him? He wants him to get stuck in and do his defending as well.
And that's the stuff that managers absolutely love, because it's great, getting the goals and bringing all the plaudits, but you still need to work hard when you haven't got the ball.
You do indeed. We'll head down to Stamford Bridge in a moment. Southampton have just got a throw-in level with the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. 4-0. The lead here for Sunderland. What an afternoon it's been for Tony Mowbray's men. Can they find a cross here, Southampton? They're hassling with Sunderland to win it back. It's all very slow at the moment from Southampton. Here now is Downs. Left corner of the penalty area, gets it away. Walker-Peters tries to go through, picked up by Pritchard, and Pritchard's on his bike. He'll find Jack Clark. Clark over halfway line. The red and white shirts are trying to get in forward in support. Clark has it, cuts in off the left-hand touchline now. He's got a ball to the
right hand side if he wants to play. He does his bar. He's going to be offside. Let's head down to Stamford Bridge, and our second live commentary of the afternoon is Chelsea against Nottingham Forest with the team news. Is Ian Danton.
Thanks, Mark. Maurizio Pochettino names an unchanged Chelsea starting 11 from that which began the game in the Premier League against Luton Town. Cole Palmer, who arrived from Manchester City yesterday for big money, he is on the bench for the Blues. As for Nottingham Forest, well, they bought a whole truckload of players yesterday. Only one of them is available today, Nuno Tavares, and he's on the bench. With the departure of Brennan Johnson, the only change Steve Cooper makes from the defeat at Manchester United is to bring in Orel Mangala to stiffen up the midfield. 3 o'clock kickoff at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Nottingham Forest is live on Talksport 2.
Cheers, Dance. Looking forward to that. We'll have that one on the way home. Here, Southampton have won themselves a corner. There's a little bit of hush falls around this ground. The Stadium of Light being rocked by 4 goals from Sunderland. Can Southampton get a consolation here? They're going to swing in the corner. The referee blows his whistle. Now he'll tell them to get on with it. It's Ryan Manning on the near side who's going to take the corner. Puts it into the 6-yard box. Good ball, and it's headed wide. That was a great chance there. Shea Adams was involved. Well, that was a chance. I think Shea Charles might have got the final touch on it. Either one of them, Mickey, should have hit the target.
Yeah, absolutely. He's put some very good balls into the area, Ryan Manning, from the right-hand side from corners. I think on a couple of occasions, Anthony Patterson in that Sunderland goal, he's not really been commanding. He's not come out and cleared his lines. And again, it was the same situation. And you're right, you've got another opportunity there, haven't they, just to stick the ball in the back of the net. But if you're a centre-half coming up and you get the first header on it, you expect to hit the target.
You do indeed. You're live on Talksport 2. Mark Wilson with Mickey Gray here. About 16 minutes of the 90 remaining here. 4-0 Sunderland lead. Tony Mowbray gone for a sit down now. His work may be done for the afternoon. Russell Martin is on the edge of his technical area, pointing, trying to direct his team around. Look, they're not going to get the win here that maybe would have taken them to the top of the table. As Fraser just lays off the ball. Yeah, they got to bed last night, Russell Martin, I think, thinking, yeah, we've had a pretty good window there. Can't wait for tomorrow. He'll be going to bed tonight. Glad maybe he's got a bit of time to work with his new squad. International break next week, so no game for these two, but some big games coming up for Southampton. They take on Leicester at home. You'll hear that live and exclusive on Talksport 2. 15th of September. Ball played forward for Barr. It's just going to curl away from him. Bednarek was a lucky boy there. If that ball had gone straight, then Barr would have been in from halfway. And I don't think the scoring's done yet, Mickey. I think we will get a 5th goal here.
Such an open game, isn't it? You don't know where the goal's going to come, whether it's going to come from the home side to add to their advantage, or Southampton, who, they certainly look a threat. There's no question about that. They've still got the quality out there to put the ball in the back of the net, and they are creating chances, but just got to be a little bit more clinical.
Walker Peters was the furthest forward. Here's Shea Adams. His touch was a poor one. Ball won back by Fraser. Fraser's going to shoot, and the roar will tell you that was way over from the Newcastle loanee, Ryan Fraser. He'd want that one back again, and it's behind for a goal kick.
You just touched on it, Mark, there. Southampton's games that they've got coming up. Friday the 15th of September, the next game is against Leicester City, and then they've got Ipswich Town is the next game, and then Middlesbrough after that. So they've got some really tough ones coming up. I think Russell Martin has got to go back to the drawing board. He's got to have a look at how his side are defending, because you can't just defend as a 4. Your midfield have got to help you out a little bit more. I don't think they've done that today. I think the game's bypassed them a little bit too much, but also your defenders, your centre-halves and full-backs, making mistakes. Too many mistakes if you're going to win football games.
4-0 it is here. Remains 2-2 over on Talksport. Sheffield United 2, Everton 2. It's live and exclusive on Talksport right now. Adrian Durham with all the goals as they go in from 2:30. If you've got the app, you can swipe between the goals as they go in, and live commentary from Ian Danton and Perry Groves of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest as Sunderland hammer the ball forward. And that is going to go out of play, and it actually took a nick off a Southampton player, and it's a Sunderland throwing midway inside the Southampton half. 1-1 Birmingham Millwall, Swansea 1, Bristol City 2 elsewhere in the Championship.
But here, Sunderland 4, Southampton 0.
Just having a quick look at, I'm scrolling through some of the stats of the game, Mark, and people are mad into XG at the moment. Well, Southampton's has gone up a little bit, which is 0.62 at the moment, but Sunderland stands at 1.17. But it's the shots on target. 8 for Sunderland and 4 goals. 2 for Southampton, no goals. They've had 9 shots altogether in the game. They haven't really looked like scoring a goal, let's be honest with you. They had a couple of half chances in that first 45 minutes, but I just don't know where that goal's going to come from.
Well, the best chances they've had have come from set pieces and have not hit the target. Holgate with a free header, ballooned it over. We've just seen that chance for the substitute there, Shea Charles, who headed wide. Patterson really only had 1 save to make of any ilk so far, as he knocks the ball long and downfield, and Barr's going to give chase. He's another one that's developing from last year, where it was raw and didn't look a lot to it, if you know what I mean, but he looks a player this time. They've still obviously got a lot to learn, but he's going to thrive from playing football.
Absolutely. I'm still finding their feet, you have to say. I mean, second season in the Championship, we know it's very difficult week in, week out. You normally play on Saturday, Tuesday. Sometimes very difficult. You talk about the players who've left the club as well.
Well, there's a chance now. Downs is closing in on goal. Oh, his pass went between Aribo and Smallbone. Aribo with a shot, that's blocked. And it's picked up again by the visitors here. They have it on this near side. Smallbone will work it back. And he gets it away to Charles. And now the ball back to Charles near side. It's just they're popping off the passes. Sunderland are saying you can have it there, but if you come any further forward, we're going to close down and engage. Here's Walker Peters. He tries to feed it through for Fraser. Ball intercepted, and Abdullah Bar will head off down the right touchline. Maybe not quite as much juice in the legs as there was early on, but there's a couple of great runs through the middle. One of them is Jack Clark. Lovely crossfield ball. Clark left hand side of the area, passing an early ball. He get it back. Oh, his touch let him down. The defender cleared it straight back to Clark, but he was still running at full tilt and he couldn't take it in. A soft touch there, and it was one-on-one with Bazunu.
Excellent play. Lovely crossfield ball from Pritchard. There was an overload on the left-hand side. Great play from Jack Clark. Tries to put a lovely cross into the box, and when it fell back to him, he just needed that feather foot, if you like. He needed just cushion that ball. Bounced away from him. Chance gone away, but searching for that second goal he is today. He's been fantastic today, he really has.
Another break here, and it's 3-on-2 momentarily. Pritchard gets the ball to Barr. He looks up. He's got Hamir in the middle. Can he find him? Cuts it back to Pritchard in the D. Looking to pick his spot, and he hits it straight against the defender. Sirkin will pick up the loose ball, but that was a chance for Pritchard. We've seen him hit the target from there many times before. And Smallbone back defending. Stops the danger as Sirkin, I think, caught Smallbone there, who's gone down. Pretty innocuous challenge, but it will be a free kick to Southampton. Sunderland lead by 4-0 here at the Stadium of Light. And we have now got 10 minutes remaining. We're about to see a raft of changes as more changes for the home side here. Ellis Taylor is about to come on. I think Jack Clark getting a breather for the last few minutes here. And we're also going to see, I think it's the youngster Chris Rigg coming on, and he's going to replace Abdullah Bar. And we'll get Mickey's thoughts on Chris Rigg in a moment, but he is the one that's coming on. And there's going to be another change for the visitors as well, and it's going to be Alcaraz that will come on. Who he will replace will confirm in a moment. So Alcaraz will come on. It is Smallbone who will go off. So changes, but talk to me about Chris Rigg, Mickey. He's a player you know a lot of, and he's been linked with big moves away already.
Yeah, I think a lot of people know a lot of him so far. I mean, he's played a little bit for Sunderland now. He's 16 years old. I think when he made his debut, he had to go to school on the Monday after he played. So he's a wonderful talent. He's got a great left foot. He's got that low centre of gravity, and you just heard the cheer that he got when he came onto the field here today. I'm expecting big things, and I just hope that he learns his trade in a Sunderland shirt, Mark, because he's going to go on to bigger and better things. There's no question of that, but what an outstanding talent he is.
Yeah, well, he's going to get 10 minutes or so here at the Stadium of Light to enhance that reputation, as Southampton will play the ball across field. They're trying to get Fraser in behind O'Nien. O'Nien got a header on it, but Fraser's kept it in far side, lays it back here. Southampton have got plenty of black shirts in and around the edge of the area. Can they find a delivery here? Alcaraz on the ball. Lays it off to Charles. Russell Martin's side look to get a goal. Good challenge on the far side. Riggs penalised. I thought he got the ball there.
Certainly looked that way from up here, didn't it? Well, David Coote straight away blew his whistle. I think you can see the frustration because there's 3 or 4 Sunderland players surrounding the referee, asking the question of was it a foul, because they looked like they made contact. I think it was Luke O'Nien who made the challenge. Yeah, this gives Southampton an opportunity from a difficult angle, but seeing quality that they've got from set pieces, it always seems to be coming from that left foot of Ryan Manny, who's now playing as a centre half, I have to say. They've kind of chopped and changed that back 4 around. Russell Martin looking for the answers, but it's just not working for them today.
7 to go here at the Stadium of Light. Southampton with a free kick. Everybody back for Sunderland. All going to be whipped in. Right-footed hits the wall and it'll go behind for a corner for Southampton. There's about 10 minutes to go at Bramall Lane. It's Sheffield United 2 and 2. You can hear the closing stages of that one live and exclusive on Talksport. In the Championship, Birmingham 1, Millwall 1, Swansea 1, Bristol City 2. Here are Southampton now looking to work the ball. Walker-Peters edge of the area, lays it back to Fraser, stands up the cross to Shea Adams, far post, and it's cleared away, and it's going to go out on this near side for a throw, and it came off a Sunderland man. And it's a throw-in to Southampton, who they're pushing, but Sunderland so far managing to hold them out pretty easily. A crowd of 41,459 at the Stadium of Light today. Great turnout, and I dare say that the vast majority of them will be highly delighted with what they've seen. Mickey Gray, I can include you in the 41,459. You too pretty pleased what you've seen from your team.
I think you can involve me in that, Mark, as well. But early kick-off on a Saturday, the sun's shining. I think it's going to be a decent weekend in Sunderland this weekend. I might stay up.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there'll be someone willing to buy you a drink somewhere in Sunderland.
I am actually staying up. I've got my old coach at Sunderland, Bobby Saxton, under the reign of Peter Reid, who was, he was absolutely fantastic for us. It's his 80th birthday tomorrow, and we've got a surprise for him tomorrow.
I hope he's not listening to the radio. If he's got the Talksport app, you've just ruined it, Mickey Gray.
Sorry, Bob, if he's just heard me. Yeah, but I think we're all looking forward to his birthday party tomorrow.
Yeah, so is he now. Ball at the back for Southampton. Someone in the Saxon household just nearly choked on their tea. Listen to the game this afternoon. Welcome along if you are. Sunderland 4, Southampton 0. That's as good a birthday present as he could have wished for. The ball with Southampton. Is there a late consolation here? Is there going to be a late winner over on Talksport? Massive game. Sheffield United against Everton. Well, they both take a point, but they both want 3. Who's going to be brave enough to go and win it? We'll find out. We'll let you know if there are any more goals there here on Talksport 2. Sunderland looking to clear their lines. Here's Ekwa. 2 wonderful goals for him. As the ball played forward, it's going to be chased down by... In fact, it's Bennett that came on, isn't it? Not Taylor, my bad. It's Bennett that's come on. And he chases the ball down, but it's back with Southampton, who will now look to clear the ball forward. There's another off the ball collision there. Manning went down, but referee says nothing of it. And we go on here inside the final 4 of the 90. Not sure there'll be that much time added on. Just the injury to Ballard, really, that we had, and the substitutions, of course. Here now is Aribo, wide on the Southampton right-hand side. Cuts in. He's closed down by Sirkin. Sirkin, though, is adjudged to have fouled him. Sirkin's claiming that he was the one that was fouled. And it's another set-piece opportunity for Southampton to put the ball in the box.
Well, it's a little bit too late for them now, isn't it? I think we could say that Sunderland is certainly going to go on and win this game, but Southampton have certainly kept going. They've looked to try and get themselves on the score sheet. There's just another strike, but they seem to be coming from 25 yards out now because Sunderland defended so well. To top off the perfect day, they need to keep this clean sheet.
Well, this will be 7 points in 9 for Sunderland, who all of a sudden are getting on a little bit of a run of form as Alcaraz is closed down by Ekwa. Ball played to Aribo, tried to flick it round the corner. Sirkin is there. Sirkin does well. Pritchard then skips away with the ball. The break could be on here. How adventurous does Sunderland want to be? Well, they push bodies forward, and then Pritchard's pass was a poor one.
Wow.
Crunching tackle, Ekwa.
And now Neil feeds it forward. Semedo's onside. Here he is to make it 5 for Sunderland. In on goal. Bazunu saves it. Great save, Bazunu. But Luis Amir Semedo in on goal. Hits the target but can't find the back of the net.
I mean, look, he's not going to get a better opportunity, is he? Semedo, absolutely fantastic work initially from Pierre Ekwa, winning that ball back, gets played through by Pritchard, lovely ball. There was a question as was he on or was he offside? He was onside. Semedo there, 1v1 with the goalkeeper, has to go down as a super save from Bazunu, but he have to score there. If you're a forward player, your eyes are opening up there. You want to put that ball in the back of the net just to top off a brilliant day.
Well, Sunderland have put everyone forward here. Here's Pritchard, short corner, works his way to the area. Oh, and the ball cannons off him, and in the end all those players that have made their way forward have got to trudge back. But 4-0, maybe should have been 5 there. Big opportunity for the youngster. But Sunderland will be happy whatever happens in the last couple of minutes plus added on time, because this has been dominant from the opening minute when Jack Clarke headed them in front. Southampton, well, I've just had a look on the old sat-nav thing on your phone. Around about 5.5 hours the journey home. That's without a stop as well.
Dear me.
Credit to those Saints fans that have made the trip. Aribo does well to keep the ball in down the right-hand side. Alcaraz then moves it now forward. Here's Shea Adams, 30 yards out. He's closing in on goal. Just dwelt on it. Armstrong goes down edge of the area. Nothing doing, says the referee. And Patterson will come out and collect it. He's in no rush to pick it up. He's happy to waste as much time as he can. Adams will make him pick it up. It remains 4-0.
Yeah, going to be no rush now from Anthony Patterson in that Sunderland goal. He's just calming everybody down, just waving them out of the 18-yard box. You know, they put Shea Adams up front. Look, he's had a couple of little sniffs at goal. He seems to have been on the ground and waving his arms around more than he's actually been involved in the game. I just wonder whether there's a little bit of frustration mark in him, not getting that move that he was expecting to get yesterday in the transfer window, the final deadline day. They were hoping for it on Talksport, whether something was going to happen. But look, he's here. He's now got to stay and play his best football at Southampton and push them up that championship table in a big push come the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, fair play to him. He has scored 3 goals already this season. He's could have had his head turned like some other players have and refused to play. Didn't do that. And he's here today, albeit in a losing. Very worth bearing in mind, they were 3-0 down when he got on the field. Here's Alcaraz to the byline, wins a corner for Southampton. We're in now to the final couple of seconds. The fourth official emerges down below us. He's going to tell us that we've got 5 added on minutes. A minimum of 5. We'll be going to Stamford Bridge. Live exclusive national radio commentary of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest to come on Talksport 2. All the goals as they go in with Adrian Durham on Talksport. Is there a late consolation? That's all it will be for Southampton, who've got a corner. They're going to swing the ball in towards the 6-yard box, and it's headed past the far post. It was Shea Charles again who got up. He's unmarked but can't hit the target.
I mean, he's got a fantastic leap on him, Shea Charles, hasn't he? That's twice he's got himself into the 18-yard box, 6-yard box, and just needed to glance that one, needed to get a little bit more on it again. Good delivery, but again misses the target. He's done okay actually since he came on. He's playing in that right back position, isn't he? I said before, you know, they're playing Bednarak and Ryan Manning now playing as a centre half, and Walker Peters now playing as a left back. That kind of tells its own story, Mark, doesn't it? They've chopped and changed the back 4 and it's still not worked for them. Conceded 3 in the first half, 1 in the second half. Could have been more, should have been more. 5 extra added minutes onto this game, and I think these Sunderland supporters are enjoying it. We can't actually see the away supporters to see how many's left, but
I can still see a few of them on. We can only see the very front row. They're still here. Credit to them. What a day it's been for them. They would have hoped for more. As Pritchard now works its way into the area. Bennett crosses it into the 6-yard box. It was just behind, but the offside flag had gone up anyway. And it was the youngster Chris Rigg who was in the 6-yard box, but he couldn't turn it in. It wouldn't have counted anyway. It's a free kick for Southampton. The goals then scored in the opening minute. Jack Clarke with a lovely header. Pierre Ekwa from 25 yards out made it 2-0 inside 7 minutes. And then probably the game-changing moment. Pierre Ekwa 30 yards out from goal, seemingly nothing on. Whipped in a shot with his left foot. Found Bazunu wanting. And that made it 3. And then it was 4 with Bradley Dack's goal. Here now is Semedo. Lasses a shot wide. Look, he's not had too many touches, Luis Amir Semedo, but he's won a bit in the air and he's quite happy to have a go at goal.
He's got confidence. I mean, coming onto the field when you've got such a commanding lead, obviously it breeds confidence in all the players that are taken to the field, but he's got that swagger about him. He's got that physical presence, there's no doubt about that. You can see he's a tall man, or tall young man should I say as well, but he's got that little bit of confidence in front of goal. Should have scored, let's be honest with you, Mark, with his first opportunity, 1v1 with the goalkeeper, but that one was a bit difficult, but still taking the shots on.
Pritchard just overhit the pass there to Rigg, when maybe a straightforward pass might have been the better option. He went for the volleyed first time pass, and now the ball coming forward here down the near side. Southampton with Charles looking to get Armstrong and Adams in on goal. Equa picks up the pieces, and he now gets it to Pritchard, who moves it to Bennett on this near side. Bennett, ball cleared away by Shea Charles. 2 minutes of the minimum 5 to go. Tony Mowbray, hands in pockets, never gets 2 up when they lose. When they win, never gets 2 down when they lose. He's pretty level-headed, isn't he, Tony Mowbray? Been there, seen it and done it, but this will be a performance that'll have him purring inside, because this has been top draw from Sunderland. Nice run, Alcaraz. He's brought down by Dan Neil. That's a free kick, edge of the centre circle.
You have to pick a man of the match at the end of this game.
I think so.
Well, I've got a couple of candidates in mind, I have to say, but I just think it's been an overall solid performance. It's really difficult to pick individuals out when you played so well from back to front, but yeah, I think we all know, Mark, it's going to be a Sunderland player.
Yeah, I think that is fair to say, as the ball worked forward by Southampton. Have lost possession again. Here now is Semedo giving chase. Bednarek across there and knocks it out for a throw-in. Is there one late goal? They scored early in the first half and early in the second half. They scored late in the first half. Can they score late in the second half? I think Sunderland are happy enough. There's no desperation to get the ball back in play. Neither should they be here. We'll be going to Stamford Bridge for Chelsea against Nottingham Forest after this one. But what a thrilling 90 minutes it's been for Sunderland and their fans. And Southampton have it now. Final seconds of the game. Alcaraz, he's giving it away. Might just be a late chance here. Bennett skips away. Another one. 2. Nick pirouettes. The showboating goes on. Sirkin back to Bennett. Well, it's all the tricks of the fair. Now he puts in the ball to the far post. Headed down. It's a goal. Chris Rigg heads it in. Sunderland do score, and it might be a new local hero that tucks it in. The teenager Chris Rigg with a header, but take a bow, Jewison Bennett. A turn, another turn, and a third turn, and he celebrates like he scored the goal. You won't get many better assists than that. A moment of history for Sunderland and Chris Rigg. They lead and they will win 5-0, but what a goal to wrap things up. Young talent strutting its stuff at the stadium are right. It's a great header, but Mickey Gray, that was sensational assist from Bennett.
Jewison Bennett, take a bow. I mean, how many skills do you want to do in one move? He did 3 against top quality opponents. It just shows the confidence. It was absolutely fantastic. He kept the ball at his feet, had that little look up, and he just looked to the far stick, and he saw young Chris Rigg just waiting there unmarked, just needed to get that header on target. He heads it down, does all the right things. What a performance, what a showing in front of over 41,000 supporters at the Stadium of Light. This has been a brilliant day for Sunderland, it really has. That's outstanding.
Well, he scored on his debut, Chris Rigg, in the League Cup against Crewe, but now he scores in the Football League. The full-time whistle goes here. There's been some rough old times at this ground in the last 10-15 years. There's not been too many better days than this one. They were on the front foot from inside 60 seconds. Jack Clark on the end of a wonderful Trey Hume cross stooped to head past Gavin Bazunu and put Sunderland in front. They doubled it on 7 minutes. Pierre Equa, the first of a magnificent double. A 25-yard shot low past Bazunu to make it 2-0. And just as you thought Southampton might get something out of this game, Pierre Equa added a third. An unbelievable strike from 30 yards out to make it 3-0. And when Bradley Dack tapped in from close range on 48 minutes, it really was game over. But the moment of the game came in time added on at the end. Jewison Bennett on as a sub,
3 magnificent bits of skill. He turned, he pirouetted, he put in a lovely ball to the far post, and there was Chris Rigg to get up highest and head in a powerful header past Bazunu to score the goal. And Sunderland have won here by 5-0. Southampton players applaud the fans high up who've made the monstrous round trip here to the Stadium of Light this lunchtime. What a journey home, and well done to them for turning out today. Safe travels home. But today, Mickey Gray, is all about the Black Cats. Sunderland dominant from the very first minute. And we talked earlier on about where this club is going. They're recruiting, they're building young talent with a view to the future. We've just seen a sign of the future today, Mickey Gray, because that was outstanding from Sunderland.
From first minute to the final whistle, absolutely outstanding performance from every individual who put a Sunderland shirt on today, and the Sunderland crowd played their part today as well. Because let's not forget, this today, before game kicked off, was a difficult match against a quality side in Southampton. But the goal after 1 minute from Jack Clark set the game the way it was going to go right the way through the football match, and it was just absolutely brilliant. The goals from Ekwa before and after half time were absolutely outstanding with his left foot. And then Bradley Dack, he's had his injuries over the last couple of seasons, getting himself on the score sheet. Thrilled to pieces for him, but young Chris Rigg and that brilliant play from Jewison Bennett down the left hand side, it was just sensational. And the finish as well was absolutely brilliant, and I'm so pleased for Tony Mowbray. There was question marks about him in the summer. Was he going to stay? Was he going to leave? Well, I'm so pleased he stayed at the club, because he's brought some great young players here. More talent to be coming through the ranks in the next couple of weeks with the signings on transfer deadline day. Outstanding performance. I feel for Southampton supporters having to travel all that way home. Back to the drawing board for them. They've got to sort defensive problems out.
What a moment for Chris Rigg. He's just celebrating with the fans. They love a local boy up here, as Mickey knows only too well. Mickey, there's no official man of the match announcement. Who would you have gone for, out of interest?
Look, I mean, Jack Clark was very, very close. I thought his performance today was absolutely top class, but I think the 2 goals from Pierre Ekwa were just absolutely phenomenal. So he would have been my man of the match today.
Very good. Mickey, enjoy your weekend. Hope the party goes well. If you've blown it tomorrow, you're in deep trouble. Mickey Gray, I'm sure he'll enjoy his afternoon and his evening and his weekend up here in the northeast. The fans are filing away. Still quite a lot of them here. The football not yet done. We're only at half time of our double header. We'll be heading to Stamford Bridge for live national radio coverage, live and exclusive national radio coverage of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Ollie Klink will be alongside Ian Danton, a former Arsenal star, Perry Groves. I'm hoping they get something half like the Sunderland performance we've seen today. If they do, you're in for a cracking afternoon. The only place you'll hear it on national radio, Chelsea against Forest, live right here on Talksport 2. But from the Stadium of Light, well done to Tony Mowbray's young guns. They have blitzed Southampton here. They've hit them for 5. Brilliant from start to finish. It ends at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 5, Southampton 0.